Well, that was fun. It was a good weekend. What'd you do?
Sports. Lots of sports.
Lots of sports.
Lots of sports. It was a sport weekend.
Sports on sports?
Yes. A lot of sports.
2 days of basketball. A football game was played. Are you sad today, by the way?
No, I'm good. I'm still riding the emotional high.
Okay. All right.
Maybe there is a hangover or a letdown coming soon, but I'm still pretty jacked up.
How are you feeling this morning? Because that was the end. That was it. And it was a great way to finish up the 23-24 football season. We don't count the other thing that's coming up in March, right?
No.
We used to say, well, I want more football. Give me spring football. I want all kinds of. No, we don't count that. Welcome in on a rainy Monday morning here in Columbia as we turn the calendar. Preston Thorne, Jen Jensen is back after a week-long hiatus of being sick, and we thank you for staying in your specific room and staying home.
I couldn't convince anybody to let me come in, so it's like, okay.
Jen had no concept of courtesy to others, like, oh, I'm back on Tuesday. I was like, no, you're sick. Stay home. Please just do not come back around. We do not want to be sick.
No.
But Jen is back, and it will be actually a very entertaining sports week. We've got this pitchers and catchers report on Thursday. South Carolina basketball is going to have a very entertaining game on Wednesday. South Carolina baseball gets going on Friday.
The duels in in Daytona. The duels are on Thursday. Daytona 500 coming up on Sunday.
I was getting to that. Thank you.
I know. I'm just so excited.
Yeah. So busy week, but we cap it off.
More sports.
More sports. We cap it off last night with that is exactly why I told everybody I will not bet against Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. I would not have put money on it. That is exactly why. They had no business winning that game.
No.
And they won the game.
Yeah, that was it. I mean, shout out to Brock Purdy and the 49ers. I think they did as best as they could, but sometimes you just going against fate or whatever you want to call it, but the sinking feeling in the 49ers' stomach as they was like, oh, no, we have to give that dude the ball. That's a tough feeling, man. That's tough.
In overtime, yeah, you're exactly right. I mean, they had no business winning that game last night, right?
They had no business winning nothing to this point in this season. Literally, underdogs throughout the playoffs. They had all kinds of things happening throughout the season. This might be their finest work. This might be their finest piece of work as far as the team, championships, because you're right. There was no reason why they should have won that game yesterday.
But they did, and they do it in dramatic fashion. A little overtime action. We get that. I don't know. I'm not good at this. I'm not sure how you start to label. We kind of did it last week a little bit with, Dynasty and Patrick Mahomes and Baby Goat and all these. They just do it. And Andy Reid continues to live because Travis Kelce nearly took him out early on.
But he saw how sturdy he was. He just caught him off balance and he braced up.
I like what Amy Lawrence, those are two big guys running into each other.
That's why your head coach got to have some meat on his bones.
Yeah.
Kyle Shanahan would have went flying through the rafters.
And that's another thing. There's so many little takeaways from last night. Poor Kyle Shanahan. I feel bad for him. Genuinely bad when you just because I can't even say I blame him for last night.
No, there is. I don't think there's any blame. That's one of the rare. I mean, of course, you can do a sports talk show and nitpicking and find some places where they could have done something different. But by and large, they just lost to the GOAT. I don't know. What do you do?
And to me, at the end of the game, there was not enough pressure on Mahomes. He had plenty of time, and that's what killed Purdy at that last drive because he probably could have hit the end zone, but they rushed him, and he was off balance. Why wasn't there more pressure on Mahomes? I don't know.
It's a great question.
Mahomes last night, 34 of 46, 333 yards per ESPN, 2 touchdowns, an interception. He was sacked 3 times, which, by the way, you say, why wasn't he pressured more? Mahomes was sacked more than Purdy last night.
No, he was. I just meant at the end of the game.
Yeah, I know. Brock Purdy last night, I feel like, showed what he is, which is a pretty doggone good quarterback. 23 of 38, 255, 1 touchdown for him last night. Debo was part of the game plan. How would you label? Like, I kept talking about this throughout the game. McCaffrey is good. Christian McCaffrey's really good. Had 30 touches last night. 22 carries, 8 receptions. Do you get Debo more involved than just 6 total touches, 3 carries, 3 receptions?
Well, maybe he would have been involved, but he came up lame at one point in the game where he kind of
early. It was early, right?
Yeah, he tugs his hamstring, and then does he have full speed? Can he accelerate? All of those different types of things. So I don't know whether he was supposed to be a part of the game plan a little bit more, and that might have changed the course of that. I don't know, but yes, you tried to, but it all sort of played out the way that you would think it would.
You know what? I didn't think about this until just now because I was talking about it last night, and I think it was Debo, and one time you brought up a point of, are you hurt or are you injured? Because I kept thinking after he came up, I was like, this is the Super Bowl. I know I pulled a hamstring one time trying to ride a 40 under 6 seconds, dead serious, under 6 seconds. Stupidest, one of the up top with stupidest things I've ever done in my life.
If you are an adult who has not run, do not sprint. You will pull something.
Under 6. Was trying to get under 6. Was trying to beat Patrick Perrette.
Whatever
time.
sprinting is considered for you, don't do it. You will pull something.
And but now as I say this out loud and I go back to one of the conversations we had that you brought up, are you hurt or are you injured? And which one was he last night?
Listen, I don't know. Who knows? I don't know what pain thresholds work. I mean, he was on the ground. If your hamstring is nicked up,
it's tough.
There's nothing you can do about it. You know, it's not a matter of pain tolerance. It's just you cannot accelerate. You can't go anywhere. So I don't know what the situation was. He came back in the game, which I was surprised because of the way he went. Yeah, he came back in, but he was clearly not at 100%. I don't know, man. That's a tough break.
You're talking to someone whose hamstring limited them getting on the elevator to come down. Not someone who's trying to play in the Super Bowl. 803-404-6100. That's how you can weigh in this morning if you so choose to do so. Great weekend of basketball. The men's team, I've run out of words. They're good. They're just good. Let's just accept it. Let's all enjoy it. They have a chance to win the SEC regular season title. Let's embrace that, or y'all should embrace that with us. The women's team yesterday, I'll explain what I thought as I watched that game yesterday.
I think at the beginning of it, it felt like it was an MMA fight and a basketball game broke out. It seemed like it was so aggressive at the beginning.
Okay, I'll go ahead and explain what I thought about that game.
Oh, sorry.
What do y'all think? When did this series? I didn't look at the numbers yesterday, but this series, I believe, started. You two can correct me or somebody else.
We got a whole thing for this. Let's get through the first segment. Let's relax on that. We got a whole thing for this because I'm with you. I'm on board.
Okay, you see where I'm going already?
I have the numbers.
All right. Yesterday looked very reminiscent of something.
Gotcha.
And all I could say was like, wow, how the tables turn, or the turntables. 803-404-6100. Let's get out to the Love Chevy phone lines. Gamecock Larry wants to weigh in. Gamecock Larry, how you feeling this morning?
I feel good. But let me tell you, this good week for the Gamecocks, and I believe Auburn can be beat. Auburn can be beat. And we will beat Auburn. That's all I got to say. Number 2, the ladies basketball. Man, I tell you what, I put the TV on mute and listen to the radio. Derek, I don't forgot his name now, but the gentleman that called the plays. What's his name? The man that called the game.
Brad Muller.
Brad Muller, man, he is by himself. He's good. He's good. But I'm gonna tell you, the women's softball. I guess they were women. I don't know. 5-0. Basketball men 2-0. Basketball ladies 2-0. That's 9-0. And I don't know whether the tennis team and the golf team and all them. I don't know whether they play in and the ladies with the horses. I don't know whether they had a game this week, but 9-0 sounds pretty good. But you know what I'm gonna do, Mr. Bill? When I get off this phone, off this phone, I'm gonna have to turn my radio off because I don't want to hear you and Preston talk about the Super Bowl. Super Bowl. Though I tell you, Gamecock Station. Let's talk the Gamecocks. The Super Bowl is over. I don't care who wins or won or whatever. But I got to say, I'm glad that we got Jen back. You guys done pretty good, but I don't know how in the world you got 6 days without Jen. I do not know it.
They are just that
I
good.
love y'all. I feel good, but Super Bowl, super. This is Gamecock. Get off that Super Bowl joke. Go Gamecocks. Come on, y'all.
Well, Larry, Debo Samuel lost the Super Bowl.
Oh, that's Gamecock.
Javon Kinlaw lost the Super Bowl.
That's Gamecock also.
Rod Wilson
Oh, no.
won the Super Bowl.
Oh, that's Gamecock.
So we can talk about Super Bowl. We'll just make sure we keep it confined to ex-Gamecocks who were playing in the game, the big game,
There you go.
the biggest game in the world.
There you go. 8-0. Yeah. And a great game.
And a
At
great
that.
one.
A great one. We'll get into a lot this morning. 803-404-6100 is how you can weigh in this morning. We'll get into a little Gamecock basketball. We'll get into a lot of Super Bowl. Jamie Bradford due up. We'll talk a little baseball this morning as well because Friday, South Carolina baseball gets going. You're listening to Preston Thorne, Bill Gunner, she's Jen Jensen. It's the early game. Bill Gunner for Jacob Crowder, the mortgage guru with First Palmetto Bank. Let me tell you, the new year is officially, we're almost halfway through the second month of 2024. And you might be thinking about purchasing a brand new home for different reasons. Maybe you're looking to downsize a little bit in 2024. Maybe you're looking and you need more space around the home. The kids are getting bigger. And what that means is finding a new home, and you want to get the absolute best interest rate possible. And you know what? Those have stabilized. So it's the best time now to call Jacob Crowder with First Palmetto Bank. If you're looking to build, there's a no-nonsense construction loan that First Palmetto Bank and Jacob Crowder offer, and now is the time. 803-719-1005. That's how you can reach the mortgage guru today. He helped me just about 4 years ago find the home that I'm living in and get a great interest rate on it, and now is the time for you to contact him. 803-719-1005, or you can email him to letter J, Crowder@firstpalmetto.com.
And it is a sloppy morning commute right now. We do have an accident, I-126 westbound before Greystone Boulevard, the right lane. That is currently blocked, so be careful in that area. And Highway 1 near Priceville Road, also a report of an accident. There's going to be some standing water, and we're looking for heavier rain actually later this afternoon and this evening. Rain and storms throughout the day. 65 for the high, sunny and breezy tomorrow, 61. We stay in the 60s really most of the week. 63 on Wednesday, upper 60s for the remainder of the week. Just got to get rid of that rain today. Right now, rainy and 60 on the early game.
Yeah, we got to get going, Pop. I mean, simply, but she knows. She's very aware of what she means to our basketball team, and she's aware of, her play. But we still, even though through the shooting woes, we wanted her to continue to shoot. You got to stay in rhythm. When you take good shots, they'll find their way into the basket.
Dawn Staley yesterday talking about Tahina Paopao and the performance she put on as South Carolina just rolls. I mean, just rolls over Connecticut, Preston Thorne. I didn't know it. Did you see the stat, obviously, yesterday? The home winning streak now, I think it's 53 games. Yesterday, I might mess this up.
54?
Is it 54? It's 50. Okay, 53 and now 54. But the one about the home winning streak, double-digit victories.
No, I didn't hear that one. What was that?
It is now at 26, I believe, is what I saw. It was either 25 yesterday, 20. I get my numbers a little confused as we do this morning. But, yeah, that's the one that is ridiculous, is the fact that now, I believe it's 26. I think it was 25 yesterday. 54th consecutive home victory, but I believe it's 26th by double digits.
Yeah, so when you come into CLA, expect to get beat down.
Get it handed to you.
Yeah, you're going to get beat down. That's what you should expect. Not even expecting to lose. You should expect to go away with a nice set of L's on you, for sure.
It really is absolutely unbelievable. Now, where I was going with this is, you said 2007 is the first time they played.
Correct. Well, right. in this series, if we say in the iteration of this series, yes. About
6 or 7 years ago, I would say, 6 or 7, somewhere that mark. South Carolina, when South Carolina was really good, they would go play at Connecticut, or Connecticut would come here, and you just say, like, they're just better than they're just better than us.
Yeah, I can distinctly mark a period in time. We were undefeated. UConn came to South Carolina, and I looked it up. It was in February. It's around the same time, February 8th of 2016. They came here.
Yeah, 8 years.
They came here, and I watched Breonna Stewart be clearly the best player on the court, and that's when Asia Wilson was young. We had all of those players on that team, and Stewie put on a clinic. We were all pumped up, but it was fake confidence. It was like, we're good, but we're not.
That voice.
But we're good.
No, we're not.
Exactly, and that's how it felt every time we played UConn. So I think I know where you're going with this.
And yesterday, it was complete reverse.
It's over.
Like, it was completely reversed yesterday of, like, okay, I don't even know how to put it into words. And I've tried since roughly about 4:15 yesterday to put into words just how thorough. That game became boring.
Absolutely. You started worrying, like, okay, women, we have this game in hand. Let's not get sloppy with this one. It's like, all right, you don't want to, like, ease off the gas a little bit, but the game was in hand very early during that game yesterday.
Tahina Paopao, 21 points yesterday, 5 of 7 from three-point range. That's supposed to be the bugaboo for South Carolina over all the years, the ability to shoot from the outside.
It was.
Dina Pow yesterday, no problem. 8 of 12 from the field. Raven Johnson yesterday, just, typical, no problem. Little double action, 10 and 10. Or excuse me, 10 and 12. 10 defensive rebounds, 2 offensive, 10 points, 12 rebounds for Raven Johnson yesterday. Ashlyn Watkins, who just, chills on the bench because Camila Cardoso is usually playing. Ashlyn Watkins, 29 minutes yesterday, 15 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, 3 blocks. Just for good measure, 3 fouls just to completely fill up the stat sheet.
Yeah, you got to make sure you get those.
Get those in. Chloe Kitts, no problem. 14 points, 4 rebounds, 4 starters in double digits. Just one of those games where, again, and I say this in the nicest way when I say it got boring, but it wasn't close. And it felt like if South Carolina wanted to amp up the pressure and turn the intensity back up in the second half, they would run Connecticut back out of thoroughly run them out of the building.
I wish I had the chicken tape sounder yesterday because Mama Thorne made a chicken tape.
Uh-oh.
She sheepishly said that she thinks maybe this team might be better than the team from last year. She was very hesitant to say it. But she also said she enjoys watching this team a little bit more than she did last year. I think it's because of the 3-point shooting. But, yeah, if I had the chicken takes, I would have given it to her because I think this is a conversation you can very much start having right now.
I think it's fair. I think it's fair. Win a national championship. I mean, there's, I hate to say this. This is that fourth quarter, by the way. I mean, again, go back to the fourth. They get outscored by 7. And they get outscored by 7 in the fourth quarter. And it was literally like it was just a big party for 10 more minutes.
Yeah.
At Colonial. It was like, we have – Connecticut is not the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th best team in the country. They're 11th, obviously.
They're cooked.
But
it's over. Done.
The thing
is this
about
it for Gino?
I don't know if this is it, but it's on the down. It's over. It is a wrap. We saw the same thing on that court yesterday. And good thing to be on the winning side of it, but they had no answers for all of the stats you just laid out from South Carolina. And it's just really interesting to see it from this side because UConn's cooked, and it's over. You talk about dynasties, windows closing, it's a wrap.
UConn is the peak. That's what we all have grown up knowing that in Tennessee is women's basketball. That was past tense, was women's basketball. And yesterday, South Carolina finished off the bully. I mean, that was it yesterday. Finished them off.
Sweep the leg. It's over. For me, and I remember this, I was looking this, I was trying to figure out when it was. It was the game, and I'm looking at the dates. UConn has a very nice website, by the way.
Oh, good job.
Nice history. November 22nd, 2021. Gamecocks win 73-57 in the Bahamas. That was the game when I said, oh, this series is something different. And that was 2 years ago. And it has not gone. It's been a 4-game win streak since then. It's over. Listen.
It was
over.
18 points does not describe the beating that was handed out. I mean, that's like we said, 7 points. Fourth quarter, 21-14. Connecticut wins the fourth quarter to make it an 18-point loss. The beating that was given to Connecticut, and again, I'm looking at it from my standpoint of I've always known Connecticut and Pat Summitt in Tennessee to be the standard of college basketball, and that as you mentioned, that has changed. Yesterday was almost the stamp of Connecticut is done, finished. Start lining up the replacement for Ariama. Like, start checking around.
Yeah, just start putting the feelers out.
Start asking around who wants to take the job after the guy. That was a beating.
I can't reiterate this enough, Bill. The first time these played in this series, and Dawn made a mention of it, that really shout out to Gino for taking on this series because, as she stated, they had nothing to gain by playing South Carolina at that time. But the first time they played in 2007, the score was 97-39. The next year, the first time they came to Columbia, you know what the score was, Bill? 77-48. Have the tables have turned. And not a short period of time. It's been building over years. But this series is almost opposite now. And that team is getting further away from South Carolina is where the standard is. I guess we're still going to get up because it's UConn. I guess we're still going to think it's a big game, but I don't know if we should even consider it something to get up for anymore.
It was something. It was something. We'll talk a little more about this. We'll get into the men's side of things too, because halftime we were like, oh, here we go. Oh, second half. There's that dude, Colin Murray Boyles, just dominating Vanderbilt, and they cover the spread by 15, which at halftime seemed like it would never happen. We'll talk about.
And there's Cocky making the half-court shot.
I didn't see that.
I'll show you guys the video. Yeah, just kind of a one-armed.
A
Yeah,
lot of practice for Cocky.
Man, okay.
It's pretty impressive.
Go to class more.
Yeah.
A lot of practice. 803-404-6100. Jen's back. Preston Thorne, Bill Gunner rolling along. Monday morning is the early game.
This is Jen for CHW Cabinetry in Lexington. In the past week, I certainly had plenty of time to enjoy the new cabinets in the kitchen, still loving them. And they were so helpful, CHW Cabinetry was, when we had to totally redo the kitchen. They helped us put everything together. And then we got those photorealistic renderings that helped us put together all the other elements that were needed to complete our kitchen. But did you know that they do more than just kitchens? Do you have a closet maybe that needs to be more functional? Well, CHW can help. Do you kind of cringe every time you look in the pantry, not really sure what's in there? CHW can help you with that and maximize the functionality, create even better storage options. We actually needed to have a cabinet and a Jack and Jill bath. Currently going to have that installed here in a couple weeks. If you're looking to make some updates in your home, maybe creating a new workspace, visit chwcabinetry.com or call them today at 803-520-6837. And, of course, be sure to tell them that Jen Jensen sent you. CHW Cabinetry, passion from inspiration to installation.
All right, let's see. Oh, no. 3, 2, 1. Oh, let's see here. All right, Corley Pool, 30. 3, 2, 1. Bill Gunner for Corley Pool Solutions. The month of February is here, and you're thinking about a lot of things, taking care of yourself, but are you thinking about your pool and getting ready for the summer? You need to, because with Tracy Corley and Corley Pool Solutions, your pool is their reputation. So it's time to line up getting a great cleaning for 2024. 803-445-8109. That's how you can get in touch with Corley Pool Solutions. Don't take another day. Go ahead. Call. I don't even like that one. It was 30 seconds of wasted time. 3, let's see here. 3, 2, 1. Bill Gunner for Corley Pool Solutions. The spring is here. Are you ready? Especially your, I don't like that. Are you ready? Great. We're off to a great start this morning. 3, 2, 1. Bill Gunner for Corley Pool Solutions. The spring is here. Are you ready for the pool season? That's right. Your own individual pool, it needs to be cleaned. And you know what? Corley Pool Solutions, they believe in the highest
And definitely a sloppy commute for your Monday morning today. We are looking at rainy conditions throughout the day. As far as your forecast goes, I-20 westbound there at I-26, an accident. Also, Highway 1 near Priceville Road. And I-126 westbound before Greystone Boulevard. The right lane continues to be blocked. Again, looking for that rain today. Heavier rain tonight. Maybe a chance for some storms in there. 65 for the high, overnight low of 45. And tomorrow, 61 will be our high under sunny conditions, and we'll keep that sun through the rest of the week. 61, overnight low of 35. We get into the mid to upper 70s for the remainder of the week. Right now, though, some light rain and 60 on the early game.
Eight zero 6100. It's not a Monday morning therapy session for most, Preston Thorne. For some, it may be.
This goes back to that cheering versus rooting conversation. I imagine if you're cheering for the 49ers, this might be a rough one today.
For some, it may be, and we will talk South Carolina basketball, but I got to get to this text message here. And DJ, we're here for you this morning. DJ, we're here. DJ, 609 on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Just curious. I'm a 49ers fan. They're not a bunch of scrubs. What makes you guys think my Niners can't beat the Chiefs? DJ had a point. I thoroughly believe the Niners should have won last night. They just ran into Patrick Mahomes.
I believe that was my answer on Friday.
Yeah, I was with you. People were asking, like, why do you think?
It was a simple answer.
DJ, I have to read the text. We don't have message board maniacs this morning, but we have tantrum texters, and it's understandable. Last night was tough. DJ weighs in on our text line, Firehouse Sub text line, 803-404-6100. Why feel sorry for Shanahan? He gets paid a lot, all caps, of money, and he gave the Chiefs the Super Bowl 2 times now. Offensive genius or mastermind, not, in all caps. An offensive mastermind comes up with a play to get the first down on 3rd and 4 with 2 minutes left and make them use their timeouts to stop the clock. An offensive mastermind doesn't take the ball first in overtime, drive down inside the 20, and then not only run like they expect you to, but run right where they expect you to and get stuffed on 3rd down. An offensive mastermind, genius, would have faked a handoff, bootlegged Purdy left, and hit George Kittle, who is not involved whatsoever, in the corner of the end zone to go up 7. It stinks to say, but my Niners won't win a Super Bowl with Shanahan.
Oof. What's wild is because of that, what he's talking about, the offensive genius, what an offensive genius would do, actually, that's exactly what Andy Reid did on both. It's exactly what he did. He faked the bootleg, gave it to Mahomes. Mahomes snuck out the back door and scored on that. He got Travis Kelce involved on the last drive. Yeah. Sorry for you today.
Hang in there, DJ.
Hang
We're
in there.
here for
But,
you.
Mahomes has legs. So you just, and I think they counted him out a couple times, you know, where it's like, I think one of the stats they said something about if it's a 4th down, there's a good chance he's running.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well then probably if the announcers knew that, probably the 49ers knew that.
And Preston's pointed this out many a time. When Mahomes runs, it looks so unathletic.
He's the best.
It looks like your dad running to the fridge or something. Like it works. 9 carries last night, 66 yards, long of 22. It works.
It doesn't look great.
When he runs, you're like, he's not going to do it. There's no way he's getting a first. Oh, he's got a first down.
Yeah.
It's like old crazy legs Dylan Thompson running for that first down on 3rd and 17 against Clemson years ago.
It shocks you every time. It's like, oh, wow, okay, 20 yards.
He looks like a guy who has cankles.
Yes, I've been on this train for a long time. It wasn't until the visual evidence came out where people started to believe what I've been saying for years. Also, I will also say that this dude is on his way to being the GOAT. And that's why athletics are amazing, because it takes all kinds, man. You put that body along with that voice, he had to be a great quarterback. He had so many bad things going for him. He had to be the greatest quarterback. He had to get, you get gifts. You get different things that you get. And he got that voice and he got that body, but he got that arm. And so
he's got playmaking. I mean, it is interesting after last night, where we will consider Patrick Mahomes now with, I don't know, at least 5, maybe 7 more years to play. And that's probably going on the lower side of it. Well, there's no reason to think, after what we've seen Drew Brees and Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers out there trying to do, that he's not going to play another 10 years.
You saw that graphic last night where it was basically like a race or something, and it showed Tom Brady and then passing the baton to continue. That was an interesting graphic, because it's like,
it's definitely true.
Yeah, but also now, where do you put Andy Reid?
Yeah, you have to put him up there in the upper echelon. I mean, obviously Patrick Mahomes is biased and said he's he's the greatest of all time, but there's a couple of factors where you can look at and see that has to be considered one of the top 5 minimum, and then from there you could have any conversation you want.
Would you agree that when you're seeing him on the field, really they don't ever have to cut to him? They could just use a still photo, because he never looks different. He looks the exact same every time the camera cuts to him.
The only thing you would edit is whether or not he has the play sheet in front of his face or down.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's about the same thing.
Yeah.
Well, I'd say that, but that visual of him, remember he had that during COVID, he had the plastic mask, I don't know, whatever, it came down and it was raining and he's trying to wipe unfortunately but interesting from last night. Here's the other one. We brought it up. 9 catches last night. 9 catches, 93 yards. Didn't catch a touchdown. This is what we talked about on Friday. Where do you put these 3 guys now? Because I get it, Preston. You can explain it better than I can, because you played football. They're different tight ends.
Yes.
They are labeled. Rob Gronkowski and Travis Kelce are labeled both tight ends. Kelce's a glorified wide receiver.
Correct.
He's not Gronk.
No, he is not. And there was a little Twitter discussion that sort of popped up, and I want to be definitive here. Gronk is the greatest. Period. And no, period. I'm not even going to say in my opinion. I was going to be a chicken take. Period. This guy is special, and he's definitely in a class by himself as far as what he can do on the field. I'm talking about Travis Kelce.
803-404-6100. Valentine's Day coming up Wednesday. Want to remind y'all, don't let your house be dirty on Valentine's Day. That kind of stinks. You need to call Zerorez, 803-262-4020. You can get an insanely clean home from the pros at Zerorez and give your loved one exactly what they want. That's right. They don't want the cards, chocolates, or flowers. They want a clean house. Trust me. 803-262-4020. Zerorez with their patented ZR water technology, scientifically proven to keep the carpets, rugs, tile, upholstery all insanely clean. And right now you can get 3 rooms of carpet clean for $109 plus a free hallway when you mention me. Bill Gunner at 107.5 The Game. You can book online, ZerorezColumbia.com. Again, 803-262-4020 or schedule online, ZerorezColumbia.com. Mention me, Bill Gunner at 107.5 The Game, and you get 3 rooms of carpet clean for just $109 plus a free hallway. Again, Zerorez, spelled backwards or forwards, is the right way to clean. We'll get back into basketball. I think it's legitimate questions about you're the football guy, but I think that Rob Gronkowski conversation is wildly interesting, because I don't know how. Maybe you can get all nerdy football with us and get football hands and just explain the difference between Kelce as far as just being a receiving tight. I don't know if he's ever thrown a block, by the way, and Rob Gronkowski, who did both, and what it does also to your body.
The way you know that Travis Kelce has never blocked anybody is because he couldn't knock Andy Reid down.
True.
Imagine if Gronk would have ran into Belichick. Belichick would have been through the turf, right?
Good point.
He's not trying to be physical with anybody. He scared himself when he hit him. He's like, oh, I hit somebody. I didn't want to do that.
I'll ask you about Shannon Sharp when we come back.
Okay.
Throw him into the mix. 803-404-6100. You're listening to the early game.
Presser here for Absolute Glass, the premier glass company of the Midlands, offering auto, home, and business glass repair. So listen, if your glass is damaged, shattered, cracked, or broken, they can handle the job. They will come out to you and give you a free quote for any job. That means wherever you are, whether you're at work, whether you're at school, whether you're at home, Absolute Glass will come out to you and give you a free quote for any job. If it's a cracked windshield, that's no problem. They'll replace it for you, usually for free, and they'll work directly with your insurance company to take away the headache. That means you don't have to take care of any of that. You just have to worry about Absolute Glass. Now, if you're at home and you're looking to increase the value of the spot, you can do that with new windows and mirrors, and Absolute Glass will come out and take care of that for you also. Windows, mirrors, shower enclosures. I say it all the time. If you can see through it, Ray and Marianne at Absolute Glass can do it. So check them out online at AbsoluteGlassInc.com. That's online at AbsoluteGlassInc.com.
We'll talk a lot more South Carolina basketball coming up, obviously. South Carolina baseball as well in the next hour. Jamie Bradford set to join us as we roll along on a Monday morning, 6:48. Hope you're doing good. Be careful if you're out there driving. Rainy today and slick coming in. A little dark out there as well, so be careful as you're rolling in. 803-404-6200 if you want to weigh in. A couple of y'all doing that. Chris asking. Shannon Sharp said, or no, he's not asking. He says Shannon Sharp has something to say about this greatest tight end discussion.
Shannon Sharp talks a lot. He always will have something to say. He's not Gronk. Shannon Sharp is definitely more along the lines of Travis Kelce. Shannon Sharp looks good in a uniform. He has a lot of muscles. He ain't really trying to block nobody.
There you go.
He's good. Great. one of the greatest for sure.
To me, it's either Kelsey or Gronk, but again, they're two entirely different tight ends. It's hard to me. That's the same conversation as like trying to compare Kobe Bryant and LeBron James, two entirely different players. Kobe's great. Kobe might be the greatest, but they're just two entirely different players. 803-404-6100. Jen, we kind of missed it on Friday. We had an Usher party, if you will. A lot of Usher music. Preston, did it live up to all you had hoped for last night with the halftime performance?
9 out of 10.
9 out of 10.
9 out of 10. Listen, the consummate professional. This guy is dancing. He's singing.
He's on friggin' roller skates.
That part was like,
This guy is tremendous.
Yeah,
I told everybody, I was like, this is the dude, because he does everything up to the highest level at all times. And I just knew the only minus I gave is, this is a personal bias, I don't think Alicia Keys should have got her own little section of time.
understandable.
That's the only part there. I think Usher could have took some more of that time. Alicia Keys got a little too much shine. But aside from that, I mean, dude's just, he's money. I knew it was going to be money. There was no way that was not going to be money.
There were some who, you're seeing some feedback or, it just was kind of blind. I'm like, well, you don't have to have people being suspended from the rooftop. I mean, he's talented. He proved it. I thought it was great.
Right. There was nobody. Yeah, that's the thing. So there wasn't any theatrics. It was just a dude putting on a tremendous show.
Right.
Again, skating down the moonwalking, doing all this things, singing the songs, changing costumes.
And again, I'm all for anybody who can sing and doesn't have to have auto-tune or anything else. The dude's got pipes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
9 out of 10, man.
And I had no reason to even go back and look at stuff. I think he's one of the younger. Well, Rihanna's probably
She's younger than
but because you talk about his moves and ability to dance, it's not Mick Jagger up there, that age. But Mick can still move pretty good. But Usher is in kind of, I guess, I don't want to say in the prime of his career, but he's still there.
Yeah, that's another fascinating thing. I mean, he's not a young person per se,
right?
To be doing those types of moves and be moving around like that, and again on roller skates, and he went for going under the legs one time, and I didn't know if he was going to get out of that, but he came up and got up and kept singing. Just a professional, man. He's a pro. I thoroughly enjoyed it. There was no way that wasn't going to be. But it just shows you, man. After 30 years of performing, it takes to do that at one time, man. How much work it takes to get to that one moment.
803-404-6100.
It's almost anticlimactic. It's like, yes, it's great. We knew it was going to be great.
Both of you, how was all the extracurriculars around the Super Bowl? What did you make of the commercials? Obviously, we just covered the halftime show. Like, what do we make of all the little extracurriculars?
I didn't. I think I took a note. I don't remember. And now, if I have to look at my notes, I can't think of any commercial that stood out.
I thought the dunkings with Matt Damon and J-Lo, and I thought, okay, that was actually pretty funny.
They had a campaign going. That was cool.
You saw, I think Tom Brady, I saw him in at least 2 commercials.
Brady is definitely,
so
he was in
he was going to make sure he was part of the Super Bowl one way or another.
I'm going to be here.
Mm-hmm.
Bill, did you have any commercial that you... Oh, I do have a major thumbs down.
Okay.
Posty. And that's my guy. But he didn't quite get there on America the Beautiful.
Really?
He was solid.
I thought it was good.
Yes, it was fine.
Okay.
It was fine. But I just, because I mean, we knew Reba was going to set the standard.
Right.
We knew what Reba was going to do. And Posty just couldn't quite get there.
And
just didn't meet the moment.
And I just have to listen to him without looking at him.
Oh, speaking of watching the game with Mama Thorne, when they panned to him, first they showed his face and it was audible, and then they showed his inside his mouth and she was like,
I mean, I'd be afraid to go through a metal detector.
Yes, yes.
And even the stuff on his head, like, it's not even artistic. It just looked like he was at an autograph party and people just kind of started drunk.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, trying to explain to my mother of a certain age who Post Malone is.
Oh, good luck with that.
Yeah.
That was
803-404-6100. Let's get out to the Love Chevy phone lines real quick. Andy wants to weigh in here to wrap up the hour. Andy, how you doing? What's on your mind?
hey, I know it's not feasible, but if the Chiefs had just treated every time they got the ball like a 2-minute drill, I wonder what the game would have been like, because it's just magic. I wanted the Niners to win because of Debo, but it's just like, dang, it's just something that switched, man. When they go into 2-minute mode, things happen that don't happen the entire freaking game, and it's amazing to me. So hats off to them. That's why I just wanted your comments on that.
Yeah, there might be a little football type of explanation to that, because I think that's when you get Mahomes freestyling a little bit more. Travis Kelce is doing a little things off script, and you just let Mahomes be the best at what he is. And I think that's what Andy Reid does so well, is he does not try and corral this amazing talent that he has. He just lets him go out there and play.
25-22. Chiefs win. They win their third Super Bowl in 5 years. I didn't realize this stat until I just looked up, and it was kind of showing here that the 49ers become the fifth team to lose 3 straight Super Bowl appearances. Obviously, they haven't been there 3 straight years, but 3 straight Super Bowl losses for the 49ers. We'll continue talking about that. We'll get in. Baseball coming up on Friday. We'll talk some of that and some basketball. Jamie Bradford due up next.
Preston here for Integrated Media. So check it out. The spring is here. I know we've been saying it this whole time, and I know we've been trying to tell you to get ready, but spring is finally here, and it's time for you to get yourself ready with Integrated Media so you can get your outdoor setup ready to go, because baseball season is coming around. The summer will be here before you know it. So look, get your Samsung Terrace TVs waterproofed, or Sonos outdoor speakers for TV and music, Wi-Fi that works indoors and outdoors. That way you can have a dual setup going on. Control all your devices from just one remote, which is my personal favorite. So from home theater setup to adjusting your thermostat or monitoring your security systems from your cell phone, Integrated Media is the company that you need to call. Call Nathan and Michael at 803-948-8327. That's 803-948-8327. Or you can check them out online at integratedmediainc.com. That's online at integratedmediainc.com.
Maybe you need to start doing production elsewhere.
Okay.
Not that I have any
Let's
production.
just do this. Just not as much energy. 3, 2, 1. Bill Gunner for Corley Pool Solutions. The spring is here. Are you ready to get out and enjoy your pool? And if so, you need to have it clean. You need to have it maintained. And Corley Pool Solutions believes in providing the absolute highest quality swimming pool service at the most affordable price to you. So give them a phone call today and line up some maintenance. 803-445-8109. Again, that's 803-445-8109. Your pool is Corley Pool Solutions' reputation. So you need to give them a call and get Tracy Corley out to your house today. 803-445-8109. All right, and a 60. And 3, 2, 1. Enjoying your own. Excuse me. 3, 2, 1. Enjoying your pool, well, that's one of the fun things of summer. And with Corley Pool Solutions, you can keep your pool clean, maintained, and ready to use each and every day you come home. So give Corley Pool Solutions a phone call today and line up maintenance for the spring and the summer. 803-445-8109. That's how you can get in touch with Corley Pool Solutions and the pool guru, Tracy Corley. That's right. Again, your pool is their reputation, and you can get flat rate pricing, including all of the chemicals. It's more affordable for you to call Tracy Corley and Corley Pool Solutions today, 803-445-8109, than for you to try and maintain your pool on your own. So go ahead. Again, Tracy is the pool guru. They want to take care of your pool this summer. They want you to enjoy your backyard luxury. So call Corley Pool Solutions today, 803-445-8109. Don't let another day go by. Line up pool maintenance today with Corley Pool Solutions. One more 30, and we'll call it a day. 7 a.m. on a Monday, February the 12th, as we roll along here. I thought it was a great weekend of sports. You had, obviously, some great college basketball. You had some great NFL. It really was, Preston. It lived up to, I think, everything we wanted it to be last night. You never know how these games are going to go. You get all the hype. It's the final game. You don't know how it's exactly going to play out, but I thought last night more than lived up to the hype of what we were hoping for the Super Bowl.
If you were to cast this as a movie, everybody played their part. The MVP quarterback gets the ball in the last drive, comes from behind, throws it to the star-turning tight end who makes a play at the end. Everything you would have wanted it to be was exactly what it was, and everybody played their part. A great game. And it's like the NFL never loses, man. They win all the time. It's always great.
It was, again, all over some good college basketball led up to it. Women's team thump UConn in a game that wasn't really competitive. Shout out to the women's softball team. I guess that's an oxymoron, but the shout out to the softball team. Perfect weekend for them as they roll right along with victories there in the Carolina Classic. And, again, the men's basketball team. And we'll talk about that in this coming weekend. You get some baseball. It's time to take to the mound, step out there. And a guy who loves him some baseball, Jamie Bradford, joining us now. Mr. Bradford, welcome in. Hopefully you made it to the very end of the game last night and even a little bleary-eyed this morning, and that's okay.
Yeah, I was struggling, man, to stay up to the end of that thing. But hats off to the Chiefs. They just keep on keeping on. Life's a garden. They dig it. That's for sure.
Never heard that. That's very, very good. Very good.
That's the words of Joe Dierte. So
okay.
That's my wife.
Have not actually watched that movie. So
you've never seen Joe Dirt?
I think of all the movies we can yell at me about never watching, I didn't. I'll admit this now because you're on and you can take some of the pressure off of me for what I'm about to say. Preston went, I forget what day last week, went on a soliloquy about Rocky IV. Was that last week? Maybe 2 weeks ago? Was that last week?
That was last Monday.
Oh, okay.
In honor of Carl Weathers, who was on the commercial.
That was on the commercial. Yeah, I forgot about that, actually. I've never seen any of the Rockies.
Not even Rocky IV?
None. Zero.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Let's not waste time this morning on my failures of life. Where do you want to start, Jamie Bradford? You've got the Super Bowl, if you want to weigh in on that real quick. You got a great weekend of basketball. We'll get to some baseball coming up here later on in your thoughts as the Gamecocks get ready to take them out. But where do you want to start this morning?
Well, I mean, I guess we'll the Super Bowl was played last night, so we can start there. And then I know everybody wants to get to basketball because, wow. Hey, well, what's coming on Wednesday is something that we're not used to around here. But it was a neat. I mean, it was a neat game. I wanted to see San Fran win it. I'm not a fan of either, but certainly wanted to see Debo and Javon get some rings, and they just couldn't figure out a way to get it done. So I guess the NFL is going to just continue to run through Kansas City until someone knocks them out. But I guess the bigger conversation now is turning to Pat Mahomes and where he's going to land in history with Tom Brady and all the great athletes and all the sports we've really seen.
Let me ask both of you this. We do this is Sports Talk Radio at its absolute finest. If Patrick Mahomes never wins another Super Bowl, is he a failure? When you do it, think about this. Because that means you go, 10, I don't know how long he's going to play, 8, 9, 10 years. Remember, Tom Brady went, a 10-year span without winning a Super Bowl? Mm-hmm. Am I right on that 04, 40, I think, something like that? If Patrick Mahomes, because he's done so much, and we it's kind of like David Duvall in golf or other people who peak so early. Preston, I'll start with you. He's not a failure, by the way, mind you. I'm not saying this. He's done so much that what Jamie just said makes me think, if he was to never win another Super Bowl, how would we view him?
To broadly answer that question, that's a very good sports talk question. That's very good. And the answer is yes. At his trajectory, I believe if you asked him if he never won another Super Bowl, would he look at his career as fulfilling all the potential that he could have? He would probably say yes. So that's a very tough question because obviously you can't call a man who's won 3 Super Bowls, went to the Super Bowl 4 out of the last 6 times, impossible to call him a failure, but for sports talk radio, yeah, I would, yeah.
Jamie, if you want to get into a sports talk conversation, yeah, what do you think?
Yeah, well, I mean, failure is a
strong word.
That's a big, strong word there, man. I wouldn't go that far. I mean, I would think that I think you'd be able to say, let me say it differently. He would have underachieved based on where, like,
Nice.
his career trajectory was taking him. But yeah, he wouldn't be a failure. I mean, my gosh, the guy's now won 3 Super Bowls. He's tied with Aikman. And Bradshaw and Montana are up next, and then Brady at 7. He's going to win another 1 or 2, so I think this will be a moot point at the end of the day. He's passed John Elway and Peyton Manning and Eli, and who else is 1, 2? Bart Starr, Staubach, who else? Bob Greasy, Roethlisberger.
Roethlisberger is who I was thinking of. Elway won 2, right?
Elway won 2.
Okay.
So, he's passed a bunch of Hall of Famers. I mean, he's going to keep – I mean, unless he decides to retire, alongside Super Bowl wins, he's going to end up throwing for another – if he plays another 10 years, and he's going to throw for another 40-something thousand yards. I mean, he's going to be a Hall of Famer. So, I don't think anything about him is a failure, but I think you would be able to say, in reaching the pinnacle of the sport, that he would have underachieved based on the expectations he set for himself so early in his career.
That was a great answer. That was the way you wiggled and moved and shook out. That was good, Jamie. You must do this for a living, man. That was solid.
Yeah, I've been around the block.
That was good.
Well, I mean, I try to stay away from a lot of these big, bold. That's what some of these ESPN shows are for. The first takes and all that. That's why you can yell at Skip Bayless every day. Yeah, I don't want people yelling at me like that.
I'm with you. We're not going to play that guy. Just as you were talking
about. I'm not Bill Gunner. Y'all yell at Bill all you want to.
Yeah.
I don't need all that heat, man. I got kids. I got kids.
I try to avoid the overly over the top sports talk conversations that like that is. But I'm sure you'll flip on some ESPN channel or something today, and somebody will be yelling about that because Mahomes and what he's doing.
Oh, yeah.
803-404-6100 is how you can weigh in if you want to do so. We'll get into a little bit. We haven't talked much about the men's basketball team. We talked a good bit real quick, Jamie, about the women's team and just your take yesterday on that beat. That's what it was. It was a beating. It was an absolute beating they put on Connecticut. And just both Preston and I said, man, that's what it feels like 7-8 years ago you felt like Connecticut was going to do to South Carolina. As good as you wanted to be, Connecticut was going to put it on you, and there was nothing you could do about it. They were a great team. Yesterday was the complete opposite. It just felt like it didn't matter what Connecticut is. South Carolina was about to put it on them, and sure enough, they did.
Yeah, everything about this team, just I mean, it's hard to not if you enjoy basketball and if you enjoy women's basketball, it's hard to look at South Carolina and think that they're anything other than the face of this sport now and have been for a while and will continue to be. They're deeper than everybody. They're better than everybody. Gamecock fans have embraced this program for over 10 years now, and that's 4 straight sellouts at Colonial Life Arena. That's 72,000 people that have been in there to watch Dawn's teams play basketball in the last 4 games. That's not happening in women's basketball except for South Carolina. Yep, congratulations to them. You can see the look on Gino's face, on Kim Mulkey, all the great coaches that have been around for a long time. They know that I hate saying things like this. Golly, it drives me insane. This is such a whatever, but it's true with this. They know that the only team that can beat them is themselves. There's nobody that can just flat out beat South Carolina. It would take the Gamecocks literally doing that to themselves one night. I hate saying stuff like that because it takes away from somebody, but it is true. They're so much better than everyone else.
7:10 on a Monday morning. We've already had one sports talk conversation. Let's do one more. Preston, do you want to tell Jamie real quick? We're not going to spend a lot of time on this, but we've already just had that Mahomes conversation. Do you want to tell Jamie what Mama Thorne's take might have been and let Jamie weigh in on that real quick?
Yeah, Jamie, so I was watching the game with my mother, and she was very hesitant because I think she didn't want to jump out on the ledge. I don't know who was going to yell at her. She was just nervous.
She's like, my son does sports talk.
Yeah, she was nervous to say it, but she said that she thinks that probably this version of this this year's women's basketball team is better than last year's team.
It is.
He's strong.
Strong.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'm not. First of all, I don't disagree with moms.
There you go.
Yeah. No. Well, I mean, why would somebody think that they're not? They shoot better. They've got more talent. I mean, they still have the inside presence. What do they not have?
Good point.
I think that's all fair.
Okay.
I'm going to have to go back and tell her you need to be stronger with that take, Mom.
I mean, this team can beat you from outside just like they can beat you. I mean, they shoot over 40% as a team from long range. Last year they shot like 30%. I mean, that in itself it stretches everything out, right? And it allows those ladies downstairs to do what they do. I mean, they're not unbeatable. Everybody's beatable, but they're really dang good.
Well, that's a lot of sports talk in one 11-minute segment. Does
that mean I'm done? Can I go get something?
Oh, no. You got 40. Now you got 45 minutes of breaking down the halftime show. There's 45 minutes of Jamie Bradford giving it all about Usher and Alicia Keys and Ludacris. That's just 45 minutes of it, maybe.
Ludacris did it for me, man. When he walked on, I was like, okay, I'm good. I love Ludacris. I love that guy.
There you go. 803-404-6100. We'll actually get into some men's basketball talk. A lot of people fired up about this net ranking. I'll get you two's take on that. Should we care about the net? Not the AP Top 25, which will come out later on this morning, but this net ranking. I'll get Jamie's take, Preston's take on that, because a lot of people fired up. South Carolina dropped in the net ranking this past weekend, but we'll talk a little bit about that. We'll also talk about that game against Vanderbilt, talk about the game coming up against Auburn, and, of course, we'll get into some baseball as well. He's Jamie Bradford. He's Preston Thorne, Bill Gunner. Jen Jensen's back. You're listening to the early game. Valentine's Day is 2 days away. And you know what? The cleaning pros at Zerorez are ready to give you the gift of a clean home this Valentine's Day. Just give them a phone call today, 803-262-4020. Mention me, Bill Gunner, at 107.5 The Game, and you'll get 3 rooms of carpet cleaned for only $109. Plus, you can get a free hallway. How about that? 803-262-4020, or you can schedule online, ZerorezColumbia.com. Zerorez, with their patented ZR water technology that does not leave behind any sticky, soapy residue. So you can roll around on the carpet. You can have a good time. Kids can play on the carpet. Dogs, cats, whatever pets you've got, they can play on the carpet. It's perfectly safe with Zerorez and their ZR water technology. Again, call today, 803-262-4020. Mention me, Bill Gunner, at 107.5 The Game, and get 3 rooms of carpet cleaned for $109 plus a free hallway. Zerorez, spell it backwards and forwards. It's the right way to clean.
I-20 westbound at I-26, still a bit of a tie-up there that is slowing things down. Earlier tie-ups have been cleared, so great news there. But it's going to be sloppy conditions today, really, throughout the day. And could see some standing water because we're looking for rain and storms throughout the day and potentially heavier rain tonight. 65 will be our high. 61 for the high tomorrow under sunny skies. And really, mix of clouds and sun throughout the rest of the week. 63 on Wednesday, in the upper 60s Thursday and Friday. So we will welcome that. We just have to get through the rain today. And that's what we have right now. It is 60 on the early game.
$7:19 as we roll along Monday morning. Preston Thorne, Jen Jensen is back. Jamie Bradford joining us this morning as we come off of a night with the Super Bowl 25-22 Chiefs. They win in overtime last night. Women's basketball hammers Connecticut. Again, Connecticut outscores South Carolina by 7 in the fourth quarter, and South Carolina still wins by 18 yesterday. Just a thorough beating. And then on Saturday, South Carolina, slow start, but the second half they get going. Colin Murray-Boyles dominates the game. I know Colin Murray-Boyles, and I'll ask you too. We're doing all kinds of sports talk things today, especially with Jamie. We're really going here, but I ask you to. I put it to both of you, and I'll start with you, Jamie. Was Saturday the official arriving of Colin Murray-Boyles on the, I'll say, SEC scene? 31 points Saturday, and a very efficient 31 points, by the way, 14 of 17 from the field. Was that his official arriving?
Yes, for the media. No for the coaches. He's been on the radar, and but yeah, for the media, absolutely. Yeah, that's the day that he became this, whatever he's going to become to them. They'll start giving him all kinds of names. But yeah, for the media. But SEC coaches, he's been on the radar now for a couple of weeks, and maybe that made their eyes open a little bit more. But he had already arrived for guys like Bruce Pearl and whoever else is out there.
Preston, yeah, you with that? Saturday, Colin Murray-Boyles officially said hello to the nation. I saw a lot more about him on SEC. What is it? SEC Now, whatever the show is, Sunday morning, but also on ESPN as well.
I think he made his introduction, like he knocked on the door when he made the block.
Yeah.
People saw that.
Wait a minute, which one? Because he had two impressive blocks this week.
I'm talking about the first one earlier in the week.
Yes,
right.
Against
Sharp.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yes.
I think that was the foot knocking on the door. Hey, you might want to pay attention. Then to follow it up with this game, yes, I do think on a nationwide scale, people are starting to, and much like the rest of the team, people are starting to figure people around like, okay, something's happening down there. Something's brewing. What's going on? And they have somebody who's being a catalyst for it. So, yeah, I would say nationwide, yes.
One thing that happened over the weekend, take it for what it's worth, ESPN moved South Carolina into what they label as lock status for the NCAA tournament. Lock status, which just means basically regardless of what happens over the final 7 games, they're in.
Regardless?
That's what lock status means.
Okay.
Or I assume that they're thinking South Carolina will win a few more games, or I don't know, but they've put them in lock status to get into the NCAA tournament. Everybody else is freaking out about the net rankings. Preston, I'll start with you. Do you even know what the net rankings are?
I don't. I do not. Should I know what the net rankings are?
I think it's Jamie. Should people care about the net rankings?
Okay, so
good.
Yes, they should. But so here's the thing, and we've had people on our show saying the same thing. Wait a second, all anybody's ever told us is don't worry about the top 25, worry about the net, and now let's just not worry about the net. Okay, let's hold on. Like I think that this all gets discussed in way too broad of terms. Way too broad of terms. It's just everybody's got a line. They throw the line out when they have the conversation, and then nobody ever gives any detail. There are 340 basketball teams. Okay, net ranking is going to be something a little bit different to every one of those teams. It's a tool. It's not the Bible. It's not the only thing that they're going to use to select the tournament. That's not the only thing they're going to use to seed the tournament or anything like that. But the reason that net ranking has been so important around here for so long is because every single time under Frank, when South Carolina was flirting with the tournament, you had to look at the net ranking because that's exactly what they were doing. They were flirting with the tournament. And then this year, we have been in flirt with the tournament mode until the last couple of weeks in the middle of the 7-game winning streak in the SEC. Oh, by the way, also knocking off two, top 10 teams and doing so in Kentucky and in Tennessee. So, the net ranking, and I think that the net ranking right now, as far as getting into the tournament, don't worry about it. They can go 2-5 down the stretch and they'll be fine. The net ranking when it comes to seeding will probably matter. But here's the gift about the net ranking too. Of the 7 games that are left for South Carolina, there's 5 quad 1 opportunities. So it's all going to take care of itself. If the Gamecocks take care of business, let's say they go 4-3, and I think the lowest team left in the net is LSU. So as of now, I think that's a quad 3 opportunity. If you lose that, that's going to bang you a little bit because it's a quad 3 loss at home, right? But you've also got Auburn on the road. You've got Ole Miss, Mississippi State, and help me out. Who am I missing?
You got Mississippi on the road. Now you got me having to pull up Mississippi, Mississippi State,
A&M. So you have 4 quad 1 road opportunities, and then you got Tennessee at home in a quad 1 opportunity as well. We all know that when you lose quad 1 games on the road, you don't get beat up for that in the net ranking. You just don't. And so you might slip a spot or two, but if you win, you're climbing 7, 8, 10 spots and things like that. So I agree. I understand why people are like, what do you mean don't worry? Everybody said that's all that matters. Now it's, just don't worry about it. I think that's incorrectly stated. Pay attention to it, but understand it's also mid-February, not even mid-February yet. It means something different this year. It's going to matter in seeding, not whether you're in. And it's not a complete story because look what's left that is still going to affect the net ranking.
It's interesting. I just was checking as you were talking. The bracket, the latest from Joe Lunardi, bracketology is not up. It'll probably be up later. It looks like he always puts it about 9:30, 10:30. It'll be up at that point, and we'll see. I will admit, I started this weekend watching other games that are around.
Yeah.
Lunardi's bracketology to start. I don't know if I'm getting ahead of myself, to the point, for example, right now in Joe Lunardi's most recent bracketology, oh boy, he's got the opening round game against McNeese State. Do y'all know who is the coach at McNeese State? Jamie? I'll give you.
As long as you didn't say Coppin State just now, I'm good. I thought you was going to say McNeese. That's why I thought you was going
McNeese State has, let's just say, a controversial head coach.
Oh, is it?
Yes. You're going. You almost said it. I think you almost said it.
Yeah. Greg Marshall?
No, you're way off. Will Wade.
Will Wade. That's Will Wade. Yeah.
Will Wade
okay.
is the head coach at McNeese State. So to this point,
hey, they're both controversial.
They are. Yes. Actually, Greg Marshall would be a much wilder take. But for example, McNeese State is right now, according to they would play in Spokane, and this is actually what I was doing on Saturday. I'm like, That'd be a late game, probably a Friday night game. Friday night, late game, have to stay up. That'd be pretty cool. Be excited about that. But on that same line is Iowa State, South Florida. So here I find myself on Saturday checking out Iowa State basketball, going, I wonder what the second round looks like. I don't know if I'm getting ahead of myself or not. We'll talk a little bit about the Auburn game coming up. Get your take on that, and certainly want your thoughts on the baseball series coming up this weekend against Miami of Ohio. A lot to get to here. Jamie Bradford joining us. Preston Thorne. I'm Bill Gunner. Jen Jensen is back. What are you, 80% now?
I'd say even a little bit more than that. Yesterday, I kind of turned a corner.
Okay, good. We've still confined her to her own little room. We've not gone around
I'm coming in to hug and kiss on you guys in just a minute.
No, you're not. I'm pretty sure that's an HR issue also. 803-404-6100. You're listening to the early game. Preston and I are sitting in here, and I'm pretty sure the heating aspect, you've heard me complain about heat. Like, I love heat. I do not like being cold. And the heating element in here has worked fantastic this morning. And you know what? We're into that time of year where you might need your heat at night. You might need your air conditioner during the day. Whatever it may be, you need to contact AAA Heating and Air. I did a year ago. They came out, put a brand new unit in my house, and it has been absolutely fantastic. I can't tell you enough good things about the way AAA Heating and Air installed that unit, explained to me how it was going to help save money, the cleanup process they did. And you know what? You can take advantage right now of an incredible deal going on with AAA Heating and Air. That's right. Call 803-677-1500, and you can get 12 months, no payments or no interest. You won't pay a penny until 2025. So call AAA Heating and Air today, 803-677-1500. Tell them Bill Gunner sent you.
And sadly, things are picking up out on the highways, I'm sure, due to the rain out there. I-26 westbound and I-26. Also, I-26 eastbound at Old Sandy Run Road. That would be exit 125. Also, I-20 westbound at I-77, if I didn't get that mentioned. I-26 eastbound also at exit 129. So exits 125 and 129 on I-26 eastbound, problems there. Longs Pond Road at Two Notch. Leapart near Mineral Springs. St. David's Church Road at Highway 1 and Broad River Road at Shady Grove Road. So very busy morning out there. Rain throughout the day, maybe some storms. And looking for a high today of 65. Sunny and breezy tomorrow, 61. Right now, rain and 60 on the early game.
$7:35 as we roll along on a rainy Monday morning. Oh, he spilled some tea. Oh, we got all kinds of issues. Yep. Engineer's not going to like that. 8:03.
All right, I'm going to stall for time. I'm going to, distract everybody so nobody sees what's going on in here. Nothing to see in here.
Nothing to see. Nothing going on. Jamie Bradford joining us as he does each and every Monday. Fun week, Jamie. I mean, we're going to get you get this basketball game. I'm excited to see the rankings today. Auburn goes on the road and loses this past weekend to Florida. It just goes to prove a point again. As a matter of fact, you talk about Tennessee. Tennessee goes to Texas A&M. They get blown out in College Station. Auburn goes on the road to Florida. They get it handed to them, 81-65. But wherever Auburn is ranked, I put this on Twitter, and just from a standpoint of, rankings, this is one of the best games South Carolina's had since the Gonzaga game in the Final Four. Just rankings-wise, it should be a top 15 matchup.
Yeah, I mean, there's a chance that South Carolina today could be ranked in the top 10 because of who's lost in front of them. And I bet you there isn't a soul on this great green earth that had February 14th, Valentine's Day 2024, top 10 South Carolina walking into Neville Arena ranked higher than the Auburn Tigers. If that's what comes to pass, they more than likely will be ranked higher than Auburn, but maybe in the top 10. There isn't anybody out there that could have dreamed that. Crazy.
So you look at this game. Auburn likes to get up and down. This is also a test in terms of what South Carolina, I thought, was the weakness going into the season. Johnny Broome comes in averaging 16 points a game. He is a beast down low. Should be a really good matchup for freshman Colin Murray-Boyles. Broome is 6'10", 235-ish, 240-ish. Again, 16 points, 9 rebounds per game. But this is I see if both of you agree with me. You never want to lose a game. But there are no repercussions in this game for getting beat. This is a fun game to get excited about on Valentine's night. You can tell your significant other, sorry, we'll do Valentine's Thursday, Friday. We've got a whole weekend to do it. I'm tuned into the game on Saturday night, right?
Yeah, I mean, when other time when the Gamecocks be ranked this high in this moment, this late in the season, you just tell your significant partner, tell your partner, look, we're going to be together for a while. We're steady. This is a comet passing through. Take advantage of this comment. Does that work?
Jamie?
Yeah, but I would. Yeah, that's fine. We'll go with that. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, look, man, it's fun for the fans because you got nothing to lose. But this is big time. This is a business trip for this basketball team. I mean, Alabama hosts Texas A&M this weekend, so the Tide are off throughout the week. So you win it, you're in first place all by yourself. And looking at what's these next couple of games for Alabama, they've got a couple of games at home. Florida comes in after the Aggies do, and then they have back-to-back road trips at Kentucky and at Ole Miss. And so, I mean, if you want to win the SEC, I'm not saying you have to win this game, but it would give you a heck of a leg up with what the Tide have left on their schedule.
Real quick, there's no reason Auburn should. I'm just going to throw it. Do you two know who Auburn's next game, who their weekend game is against? Do y'all happen to know? Do either of you know, Jamie?
You talking about next weekend?
Auburn. Auburn plays South Carolina. I'm going to throw a question at you.
They've got Kentucky after that at home.
Any chance you think? Look, the name South Carolina in basketball doesn't catch people. It's starting to, but Preston and I have talked about this as even though you're going to see a very low number, maybe 10, maybe single digits, maybe. I don't think they'll be top 10 after this week. But my point on this is, do you think you can get Auburn looking ahead to Kentucky? Preston, as a player?
Bruce Pearl.
As a player, even though South Carolina's going to come in, Kentucky's falling apart.
That's the issue. If Kentucky was still moderately decent, you might just breeze by them and look towards that game. But with Kentucky not playing well, I think the precedent, and this is why we talked about rankings matters so much, because just that number by them, if you weren't paying South Carolina any attention, that would make you kind of take notice of what they were doing.
I just, it's not a cheap shot at South Carolina or what Lamont's done or anything, Jamie. The name, but Kentucky, by the way, Jamie, I don't know if you follow on Twitter or if you pay attention, the Message Board Genius Twitter account where the Kentucky fan last week was watching Clemson beat North Carolina, and the Kentucky fan's like, that's our next coach. We need to go get that Brad Brunell from Clemson. And most Clemson fans text in when we read that was like, we'll help pack. We'll pay the Uber trip for him.
So much to say, just not enough time. But yeah, y'all go get him. Have at it.
It's been interesting watching.
I can tell you right now. At the end of this year, you talk about coaching hot boards. Lamont Paris's name's going to be all over him. I don't care what opening it is.
Yeah,
he's coming up all over the place. So.
I don't want to rain on the parade and do all this. I talked to a couple people this weekend, late Saturday afternoon. Yeah, South Carolina's going to have to fight to keep Lamont. This is. I don't know where we are in the discussion. I brought it up a couple weeks ago. I might have brought it up to both of you two about, is it time to start talking contracts and what you do? Don't break the bank, but at the same time, you got to make Lamont feel that he is wanted here financially. It's going to be interesting over the next few weeks to see how South Carolina chooses to do this. Jamie, it might have been JC that it was one in this little group that you and I are in that was pointing out Ross, is it Bork? How do I say his name? The new athletic director, Bjork. We know from the Jimbo Fisher situation, he has no problem overpaying.
No. And
it might have been you who said this. I might have seen it from you, but that the fact that he's there, keep an eye on that at Ohio State. That's one to keep an eye on, specifically what they do moving forward, and some South Carolina's going to have to pony up a little bit here, right?
Yep, they're going to. I mean, absolutely. There's no doubt. I mean, it just is what it is. But you'd rather have that problem.
Yes.
You'd rather have that problem. So, we'll ride this train out and see how far it goes, and then they'll have to deal with that. But it's coming. Yeah, it's coming.
803-404-6100. We come back. Jamie, we want your takes. I know you'll be in town on Friday. You're ready for Miami of Ohio. Baseball season gets going. A lot of excitement for Mark Kingston's season coming up. We'll let you kind of weigh in more on that as we roll along. You're listening to Jamie Bradford. I'm Bill Gunner. He is Preston Thorne. It's the early game. It is rainy today. I mean, really, really rainy. And my question to you is, how's your roof holding up? Everything doing okay with that thing? If not, it's time to call the leader in the roofing industry. For nearly 30 years, it's been Mid-State Roofing, and owner and founder Larry Leitner. That business absolutely incredible. It's time for you to get a maintenance contract. 803-356-1919. Again, it's 803-356-1919. That's right. You can call Mid-State Roofing, whether it's a high-rise or a hospital, manufacturing to industrial. Mid-State Roofing designs and installs bonded systems with a protective guarantee that'll keep your operation dry and running long into the future. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, they have a call center. You can call them right now. You're going to speak with a trained technician, so don't wait a day longer. Call Mid-State Roofing today, 803-356-1919, or visit them on the web, midstateroofing.com. If you've got a leak, let Mid-State Roofing take a peek. $7:48 on a Monday morning, a rainy Monday morning, but it never rains on the baseball field, and that's where we will head on Friday, 4 o'clock, first pitch time. And, Jamie, I know a lot of questions. I've talked to Coach Kingston. You've talked to Coach Kingston. I know you've had him on your show. We've had him here. I've done some other interviews with him for the Cocktail Hour with Gamecocks Plus. They feel good about the pitching. Obviously, a few things they've got to work out here through the first 4 or 5 weeks. Your take as we get going here with the weekend rotation and pitching?
Yeah. So, I mean, I just talked to Matt, I think Thursday or Friday, somewhere in there, Matt Williams. And, he likes where they are. They've got a bunch of talent. It's just going to take some time to kind of sort out some roles and figure out who is going to be comfortable doing what. This coming weekend probably won't be, I don't think, what the starting rotation will end up being. I know that Roman Kimball and Matthew Becker have both been dealing with a couple of minor little issues, nothing long term or anything like that. Just really, it's really precautionary. Like you spend these last couple of weeks going into the season being more careful than anything, So they'll keep an eye on it. I'm sure they'll make a call at some point in time here in the next couple of days as to whether either one of these guys will get a start. I would guess you'll probably see Roman and maybe not see Becker this weekend, but see him later on next week sometime, something like that. But that from what I understand, I don't think that's indicative at all of any long-term, problems for either one of them. You never know, but I don't think it is at this point from what I've heard. So they like where they are, and it'll take some time to get things ironed out. But yeah, I think that their pitching staff has been a little bit undersold, and that's okay. You want to be there going into the season.
So what do you want to learn this weekend? Obviously, Miami of Ohio is a series they should win and probably sweep, but baseball's a funny game like that. So what do you want to learn this weekend about this team?
Yeah, well, really, it's more about just kind of it's really more about making sure that they've kind of kicked the rust off, and offensively, it's not as much about the pitching staff. Like, that's going to come along. Like, I want to see what they're doing offensively and what they're doing defensively. And what do I mean by that is, I think everybody knows defensively, like, are you any good or not? But offensively, can they beat multiple ways? Like, do they do the little things that you need to be able to do to get through the SEC? And those are generally things that aren't thought about until you see them. You know what I mean? And it's not just laying down a bunt, but guys who are heady enough to take an extra bag on a ball in the dirt, and being able to read a ball in the gap and get an extra base and things like that. The smart baseball plays that help teams like Arkansas and Florida and Vanderbilt every year keep getting back to Omaha. Like, we've missed on a few of those over the last few years. Like, you would see time to time some boneheaded things kind of happen out there. And I'm anxious to see the little stuff like that. Like, are those things clicking or not? Because generally, like, you can teach and coach that stuff, and they do. I mean, but a lot of that too is just being a baseball player. You just have the head for it. And so I'll be paying attention to a lot of things. Probably a lot of people won't be, but that's at least what I've got my eye on right now.
Player you're most excited to see this week? We know about Messina. We know about you just mentioned Becker. Because I admit some of the pitchers was what I wanted to see. But go ahead, Preston.
Cole Messina.
Where is he from? Oh yeah.
Where's he from?
Yeah, he's from it used to be a sleepy little town called Somerville, but now it's turned into
Preston Thorne put him on the map. I
don't even recognize the place. I'm sorry. Continue, Jamie.
Yeah.
Who do you want to see this weekend?
Yeah, well, there's a lot of them. Honestly, I don't think you can answer that question with just one guy. I mean, they've got a bunch of transfers who are all trying to figure out where are they going to play and how much are they going to play. And they're, a lot of them are going to play. I mean, I keep hearing more and more about Tyler Causey. He can hit baseball as far as anybody on the squad, which is crazy to even think, but he can. So what's he look like this weekend? Is he a guy that can step in over there in front of Gavin Casas? Maybe, I don't know. And then, all those outfielders. I mean, you brought Kenny Jones into play. You brought Blake Jackson into play. I mean, you brought Austin Brindley into play, and they can't all play. So I don't know what those guys are going to do. But I'll tell you what, man, Will Tippett is a kid who, if anybody hasn't seen him, he's not the scraggly little kid that was running around in center field last year. He's filled out his uniform. He's played exceptionally well at shortstop, and they feel like they've got a talented kid over there who swings it from both sides of the plate. So there's a lot of guys to pay attention to, and I can't wait to see them all, quite frankly.
It's going to be a great week. South Carolina Auburn gets going Wednesday night, Valentine's night, as some would refer to it. Baseball season. Jamie, I know you're fired up again. You'll be up here in town on Friday. A lot to follow there with you and JC, but I know it's going to be a really good time. Is this your favorite time? You're a baseball guy. You got in here one day and you were all fired up. You're a baseball guy, right? I mean, like.
Oh, yeah. I'm a baseball guy. There's no doubt. But, I mean, this time of the year, it makes it a lot better when you got maybe a top 10 basketball team or two top 10 basketball teams, compete and win the conference championship and all those things. So this is a great spring for Gamecock athletics. Pitchers and catchers report for the Braves on Thursday also, by the way. Man, we appreciate it. We look forward to seeing you this weekend. No doubt. Thanks,
appreciate
guys.
it, Jamie.
Have a great week.
You too. I cannot brag enough about Old Timey Meat Market. Saturday evening, went there. We got 24 oysters. We got 4 crab cakes. We got scallops. We even got a sauce they had there that was perfect. And you know what? Lauren and I had a incredible Saturday night dinner with oysters, with crab cakes, with scallops. If you want these kind of things, you need to go visit Old Timey Meat Market. 3 locations to choose from: St. Andrews Road in Irmo, Lexington store where I'm always at, and of course South Congaree. And you know what? I've talked about Valentine's Day. Maybe you don't want to do Valentine's on Wednesday night, but Old Timey Meat Market has a great deal for you right now. $59.99. You get 2 10-ounce ribeyes and 2 lobster tails. You can go reserve yours today. Old Timey Meat Market, again, St. Andrews Road in Irmo. The Lexington store, you're probably going to see me there all week. And, of course, South Congaree. Visit Old Timey Meat Market today. Tell them Bill Gunner sent you.
And kind of a busy morning out there today. We are looking at a lot of things out on the highways. I-20 westbound at I-77. Also, I-26 eastbound approaching exit 129 and 125. So 2 accidents on I-26 eastbound there. Also, Leapart near Mineral Springs. Longspan Road at Two Notch Road. We're looking at Percival at Smallwood Road and also near Clemson Road. St. David's Church Road at Highway 1 and Broad River Road at Shady Grove Road. So be careful out there because we will see rain throughout the day, possibly some storms as well. 65 for the high.
(803-404-6100). If you hear anything this hour you want to weigh in on, you can give us a call or you can hit us up on the Firehouse Subs text line here this morning. Preston, as we get up and get going. By the way, I don't read into these things. I hear them, and I'm like, oh, okay, that sounds pretty cool. Next Monday is President's Day. And, Jen, I feel like you're the expert on this because one time you only, and I'm being very serious, I feel like you're the expert on this because you were the one that brought to my attention there was like bills that were trying to be passed for the daylight savings time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Deal.
So hopeful.
So I asked Jen this because I feel like this is where Jen will be able to shine. I was reading over the weekend, or I was listening over the weekend, and there's at least some push to make President's Day the day after the Super Bowl.
Ah.
The Monday. Just FYI, if you two don't know this, by the way, and I'll share it with everybody, we're off next Monday.
Oh, nice.
I confirmed that with Terry yesterday. I was like, oh, that's cool. So we're off.
I haven't had any time off lately, so I was really hoping that maybe I have a day coming up here.
Yeah, we're off next Monday. But have y'all heard anything about this, about pushing President's Day to the day after the, I mean, I don't know if there's a reason that the President's Day is on the day it is. Like,
yeah, it's for Abraham Lincoln's birthday.
Yeah.
Oh, is it?
So, it's based around that time. So,
I had no clue.
I mean, we can all collectively decide to move it. Cool.
Yeah.
I don't think Abraham's coming back. I mean, he's cool with it. So.
Oh, I didn't know that, actually. That's brand new information to me.
Oh, yeah, no. Because, I mean, and it's more revered, like in Illinois, land of Lincoln, you know, so that's.
Is that common knowledge?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. But that's why it is where it is.
You are an educator. You were.
He should know these things.
Yeah, I mean, you know, that's the thing with sort of those, as we get further and further away from the holidays, like, I don't know what it's for. We just get a day off.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yes, that is the reason why it's around that time.
I mean, not everybody cares about the Super Bowl. Not everybody parties and celebrates and carries on, you know. And if Christmas is on a on a Sunday,
hold the phone. Today is Abraham Lincoln's birthday.
It's today?
Yeah.
Yes.
But today's not President's Day.
Correct. It's because we observe it around that time.
Okay. So President's Day is not on his birthday.
No.
Okay, it makes more sense now.
Correct.
All right, kids. That's why you're going to school, so you don't end up like me.
No, you're not coming. That's not why you're going to school. You'll be fine. You'll be fine if you don't know the exact meaning of President Lincoln's birthday. Also, we have to get the fire extinguisher for the smoke coming out of Bill's ears right now.
Well, yeah, but how about that? February 12th, 1809.
Yeah, and when you say there's a push, I mean, what does a push mean?
Right.
Did somebody just
a couple guys in a bar are like, man, this is
we're gonna get this thing going.
Twitter.
Yeah, yeah. Let's get it going.
I mean, you hear people talk all the time about, oh, they really should, or the Super Bowl should be on Saturday because, that way we've got Sunday to recuperate and whatever. But again, not the whole, I would really be curious what percentage of the U.S. focuses on the Super Bowl. Is it 50%? I mean, if you're involved in it, then it's all consuming to you. But for those people who are like, I don't like football, I don't perish the thought.
Right.
But there are a few people who probably don't. So, what percentage of the U.S. is really engaged in this?
Yeah, I'm with them, man. We play the Super Bowl on Sunday, and then you just gotta be tough and suck it up on Monday.
Yeah,
it's just what it is.
Because those players are doing that. They're doing their media rounds.
Be a tough person and suck it up.
George Washington's birthday is February 22nd.
Yeah, they're both in February, so that's kind of how they.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
8:04 this morning. If you were tuning in to hear about the Super Bowl or South Carolina's big basketball victories or the start of baseball season, you just got a history lesson on President's Day, Abraham Lincoln's birthday, and George Washington's birthday. You feel good right now?
Two dudes who were pretty significant.
Pretty significant. There we go. So there's that. There is that. But last night, what was your overall takeaway from that game? As a football player, as a coach, as everything you did, because it was a great game.
It was a great game. I mean, the NFL delivered again because there was a time period, and it's long ago now, where the Super Bowl was, somebody's going to get blown out. It's not going to be a great game. And I think that narrative sort of got pushed along. But as of recent years, the Super Bowl has delivered on tremendous activity. And this game was everything that you want. Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Christian McCaffrey, Brock Purdy. Everybody did exactly what we thought they were going to do. And it kind of turned out the way you thought it would.
I had a question earlier. I don't know if you know the answer to this because as we're looking back last night, the game was about to head to double overtime.
So this is
why was the clock running during overtime? Why does it not stop? Is what somebody asked.
What do you mean? Why does it not stop? So essentially, they started a new game.
Right.
So if they would have Kansas City would have kicked a field goal, then 49ers would have got the ball back again. It basically started over, but the clock is running as if it is a game because they would have taken the timeouts at the end of the first quarter. So it's just a formality at that point. So you're starting a new game.
That's weird.
Yeah,
that was kind of weird. I like the new rules.
So that's the way. And again, why do we have these new rules? Because of the GOAT. Because the GOAT broke the other system when he came back with 13 seconds left against Josh Allen and Buffalo Bills, and they said, we got to figure out a way to make this more fair. And then he ends up benefiting from the change in rules because how unsatisfying would that game have been to me if it would have just ended on a field goal, sudden death style? That would have been ultimately kind of like anticlimactic. But to give them a chance to go back and top it with another opportunity, to me, that was the best way that it could have ended.
Are the 49ers looking at the special teams from the Chiefs saying, "Doe," when they missed that extra point? Because that was
Change the game. Change the game. And one extra point. When we talk about what's the difference of an extra point, that was it. That changed the strategy of the game.
That happened. We didn't discuss it a great deal, but if you go back to South Carolina, Florida, there was a missed extra point in that game that kind of is the same thing that changed the dynamics of how Florida wanted to play the very end of that game,
right,
as opposed to what they ended up doing and obviously won the game. Yeah, the small things like that, huge. Obviously, that last night, big story, 25-22. And then as Preston and I kind of talked about, how does it change your view of three men individually? Where do you put Andy Reid now in the overall scheme? You know, Andy Reid for the longest time was the lovable, cheeseburger-eating fat guy that was the coach for the Eagles. Now he goes to the Chiefs. He's won 3 Super Bowls. Where does he go in that sporty sports talk discussion of all-time coaches? Patrick Mahomes, 3 Super Bowls before 30 years of age. Who knows how much longer he wants to play, will play, how much longer he wants to deal with his wife, who was on social media this weekend turning away Patrick Mahomes' brother in a club. I think I asked you about that. It was a very odd situation that popped up all over Twitter. I
missed that.
Yeah, Brittany Mahomes turning her back on Jackson Mahomes. It was all over. I think it was yesterday morning that I was catching that. But also Travis Kelce which, again, it's hard to figure out how I want to place him because he's so different than Rob Gronkowski. Those three guys right there, I think, become very interesting discussion points for where you want to put them in the hierarchy of quarterbacks, tight ends, and head coaches all time.
Legacy-defining game. And not just that they won it, but the way that they won it, the style that they wanted, the fashion. It was totally of Kansas City Chiefs type of style. And you have to have the consideration that all three of those men move into the top upper echelons at each one of their respective positions, for sure.
Very, very interesting. And then, again, on the flip side of that, what do you think of, as poor DJ, our 49ers fan said it earlier, what do you think of Kyle Shanahan now?
Got to start asking questions. Have to start asking questions. He hasn't been able to get it done. They've been ahead at certain points. I'm always of a proponent that you don't win the game at any moment, so you got to win it at the end. I think he gave all he had. He probably made a couple calls that he wished he could have back, but, I mean, everybody does.
It's one of those things with Kyle Shanahan where a few things in his career go differently. We're having the Andy Reid discussion about Kyle Shanahan. Offensive coordinator for the Falcons if they win. Head coach for the 49ers when they lost the Super Bowl previously. Now this one, maybe we're discussing Kyle Shanahan entirely differently.
Yeah, you still have to have the longevity issue. I mean, I think Andy Reid's Eagles career is vastly underrated. Obviously, he went to a Super Bowl, lost the Super Bowl, continuous NFC East champions, always a contender. And I think that's why I'm going to have to go ahead and say it, Bill.
Uh-oh. Well, get the chickens ready just in case.
I think I'm going to have to say it.
Okay.
Number one.
You going Andy Reid best?
Well, I'm not going to go Andy Reid best, but I will go Andy Reid over Belichick.
Strong.
Andy Reid over Belichick. Lock it.
I like that.
Yep.
Save that. Keep that clip. No chickens on that. That's a strong take.
Did we not just – yeah.
That's a strong take.
It's a strong take.
That's not a chicken take. That's a strong take.
Do we – it's not just me. There's 8 other owners in the NFL who agree because they did not hire that dude.
Oh, Belichick, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody wants to do it. Andy Reid's fun. He's eating hamburgers. He's a good time. Belichick's grumpy.
Yeah.
803-404-6100. Let's get out real quick. Love Chevy phone lines. Ray wants to weigh in this morning. Ray, how you doing? What's on your mind?
Hey, good morning, gentlemen. Good morning. I just want to talk Gamecock basketball first. CMB is a real deal, isn't he?
Yes. He might be pretty good at the basketball thing.
Now I'm wondering if he'll be back next year. I really hope so. I'm out of kind of selfishness there. But as far as our women, my goodness, I mean, we're going up against Gino and UConn, with Cardoso not there, and I was kind of worried. But man, we just handled them. I really think our women's team, if they're playing their game, and I don't even necessarily know if they have to be on top of their game. As long as they're playing their game, I don't know they will beat them. Now, if we slip up and don't play good, or we come out, lethargic, of course, we saw what happened last year. But I think what Don has done is unbelievable. And, man, what Coach Paris is doing is just great. But getting to the Super Bowl, man, nobody can doubt Andy Reid. He's some coach, but I'll tell you, oh my goodness, Mahomes is great. As long as they have 15, they're going to be there. I mean, he's like Brady. He's got that DNA. Just give him a few good pieces, not even great pieces, and he'll beat you. But man, you know what this means? This means, Preston, we got to take another full year seeing Kelsey and Taylor Swift. Man, I don't know I can take it anymore. I hate to say that, but that's just where I'm at on this. But hey, guys, thanks for letting me speak.
And guess what? She has a new album coming out in the spring, so we're locked and loaded. We're ready to go.
Again, I shouldn't be on Twitter. This is another reason. But did you see? Apparently, she almost fell off of some kind of cabin or something in Japan. I don't know what she was performing on, but in one of the concerts, it was the folklore cabin or so. I don't quite grasp what was happening, but there was an article on it that she almost fell off and would have sustained like significant injuries.
She's a champion.
She made it.
Champion.
803-404-6100. Pat weighs in. Andy Reid, according to Pat, Andy Reid winning as coach for both of those franchises, KC and Philadelphia.
There you go.
803-404-6100.
Thank you for providing some stats with my gut.
Yeah, there you go.
Now really I feel better about my take.
We will.
Can Bill Belichick say that? Nope.
Preston will give you the weekend that was when we come back. It's the early game. That time of year, spring is great. Love the spring, but sometimes the weather can get a little funky. It's really cool at night. You got to turn the heat on. It's hot during the day. You got to turn the air on. Your heating and air unit can get a complete workout. But with AAA Heating and Air, you've got a great deal right now to get a brand new heating and air unit. That's right. AAA Heating and Air is offering for the year of 2024 100% financing with 12 months, no payments or no interest. You won't pay a penny until 2025. So beat the seasons with AAA Heating and Air in the South Carolina Midlands. If you need a system upgrade, you can get a free replacement estimate today. Call AAA Heating and Air, 803-677-1500. I almost gave you our phone number to call. That would have been wrong. 803-677-1500. Again, 12 months, no payments or interest in 2024. So call AAA Heating and Air today, 803-677-1500. Tell them Bill Gunner sent you. All right, let's do this. Men's Clinic 30. 3, 2, 1. Bill Gunner for Dr. Dan Balknight and the Men's Clinic. You know what? As we turn older, not on my A game today. Yeah, it is. It's a perfect example. Really, we should just play that one. 3, 2, 1. Bill Gunner for Dr. Dan Balknight and the Men's Clinic. You know what? Getting older is never any fun, and there's some issues sometimes that come with it, like brain fog, for example. Me just trying to cut this commercial a few seconds ago. Well, it set me back. But you know what? As older men... Bill Gunner for Dr. Dan Balknight and the Men's Clinic. You know what? Getting older, never really fun. But at the Men's Clinic, it's some issues that I can't. Bill Gunner for Dr. Dan Balknight and the Men's Clinic. Getting older is never fun. You start experiencing some symptoms that you're not accustomed to. Maybe it's brain fog. Maybe it's low energy level. Maybe it's lack of drive and motivation. But at the Men's Clinic, Dr. Dan Balknight is ready to help you with an individualized treatment that will treat your needs. So give him a phone call today, 803-875-MENS. Again, that's 803-875-MENS. Or visit him on the web for more information, mensclinicsc.com. Need to cut a 60. We got time? All right, 3, ready? 3, 2, 1. Bill Gunner for Dr. Dan Balknight and the Men's Clinic. You know what? Getting older, it's not a lot of fun. Things happen to us, guys, and sometimes we just push them aside. We don't worry about them. But you need to, and you need to call the Men's Clinic today and schedule an appointment. Maybe get a free testosterone test. 803-875-MENS. Again, that's 803-875-MENS. If you've been experiencing low energy levels, lack of drive and motivation, maybe you've had difficulty sleeping. These are all simple things that occur as we get older. You don't want them to occur, but they do happen, and you need someone to speak with about it. You can get an individualized specialty treatment just for you at the Men's Clinic. Dr. Dan Balknight will help you. With over 20 years of experience in the industry, Dr. Dan Balknight knows exactly how to treat your symptoms. So make a phone call today and get an appointment lined up. 803-875-MENS. Again, that's 803-875-MENS. If you want more information, visit them on the web, mensclinicsc.com. Visit Dr. Dan Balknight today. Tell him Bill Gunner sent you. Eight oh three 803-404-6100 if you want to weigh in on anything this morning. A lot of you weighing in. As always, you can download our app, 1075 The Game. Go to your app store on your smart device and download the app. And that way you can be a part of our program where you may go. Sometimes you want to watch us. Boy, were we having a good time on Friday morning dancing to Usher.
As we should have.
Yeah,
as we should have. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We were bebopping. We were bebopping all over the studio and having a good time. And you know what? Sometimes you want to go and watch us. There's two ways to go and do that. You can go to youtube.com and you can search 1075 The Game TV, and you can view us there. Or you can go to the Early Game live stream. Go to youtube.com, search the Early Game, and you can join us there where, again, we've got a live stream going, and we've got plenty of conversation going on with Craig, Justin, Hope, Jan, York. A lot of people in there talking it up and discussing a little basketball. And
appreciate y'all.
This past weekend, there was plenty of basketball. There was some football. There was all kinds of things. Here to break it all down is Preston Thorne.
It's time for Thorns, Buds, and Roses with Preston Thorne on the Early Game, 1075 The Game.
All right, Bill, here we go. Super Bowl edition. Big weekend. A lot of sports this weekend. Almost pretty tough to find the thorns, but I wouldn't be true to myself if I didn't find something that got on my nerves. And the T in thorn stands for trick plays. Offensive coordinators, get a life. Run a regular play. There's no reason why you should be throwing double passes across the field, doing all kinds of funny stuff with your plays. Run a regular play. If you can't beat me running a regular play, you don't deserve to get points. In fact, Bill, if you run a trick play and score points off it, you should get -2. So that touchdown that the 49ers scored on the pass from Jawan Jennings all the way back to Christian McCaffrey, that is a Bush League, Little League. They drew it up in the dirt. Get it out of here. Any offensive coordinator that runs a trick play, you're on my bad list. I don't like it. Next. Buds, Bill, Dynasty forming. 4 out of 6 years to this point, 5 out of 7. Travis, is he coming back? Andy Reid, is he coming back? Patrick Mahomes, how long will he be here? We have the makings of something that could be a dynasty in Kansas City as far as football is concerned. It's very tough to win football, consistently. But they have the main guy, Patrick Mahomes, locked down for a lot of years to come. And they seem to be something that they want to get done. So, Bill, we are witnessing a dynasty, and I think we might be moving into the era of, I like how I did that, the Kansas City Chiefs era. Get it, Bill?
Oh, I like that. I'm trying to pull very quickly to see, because this stuff happens to your buds, and on your buds, but you get the point. I'm trying to look very quickly. I know it's got to be here somewhere, because they always do this. Here we go, NFL odds.
What's the odds?
Chiefs are behind the 49ers.
Again,
Extra 49ers. 49ers, this is, I believe, outright. FanDuel here.
Perfect.
FanDuel has the 49ers for next year, plus 450. Chiefs, plus 750.
Perfect. Let's put it on Shanahan so he can choke it away again.
Excellent.
Don't doubt my guy Andy Reid or Patrick Mahomes. Finally, in that note, Bill, we need 15 roses. 15 roses for
Mahomes.
15 roses for Mahomes. My homie. My guy. Oh, man, Clueless. Classic. 15 roses for Patrick Mahomes. Bad body, unathletic, frog voice, and absolute stud. Was there doubt in anybody's mind that when he got the ball at the end of that game in overtime that they were going to win? There's no doubt. He got the ball. He runs. He throws. He scrambles. He improvises. He's awesome, man. 3 MVPs, 3 Super Bowl championships. He is on his way to being – he's one of the best to ever play quarterback. He's on his way to being the best. Will he win as many championships as Tom Brady? Who knows? But as far as skill set and idea of saying we want to have that guy with the ball, Patrick Mahomes is the man. So 15 roses for Patrick Mahomes. We are witnessing greatness. One of our themes of our show is to appreciate things while they are happening. We're seeing it. We're seeing somebody who is amazing, and it's really cool to watch, and so young, and it's really cool to watch him.
And
play.
so quirky.
Yeah, the man puts ketchup on his macaroni and cheese.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that was a big deal a couple years ago.
Yeah. It's a lot going on.
That was his initial, hey, this is Patrick Mahomes, ketchup guy here.
Yeah, that was a big thing. Yeah. So, again, if you look at that man and you saw that picture of him last week in the locker room, understand that you cannot be him. You may look like him, but you are not him. He is the guy. Patrick Mahomes, 15 roses for you, sir.
You ready?
I'm ready.
You ready? We're going to do this sports talk thing again.
Okay.
You ready?
Yep.
Is Patrick Mahomes the most clutch player in all of sports? You need a shot at the end of the game. You need to you need to get a strikeout. You got it. Is Patrick Mahomes the most clutch player? Here is your sports talk for people who say we goof around too much. This is another first take or whatever. Is he the most clutch?
I don't know. There's some number dork out there that can give you clutch rate or something like that, but I'll tell you this. I had no doubt in my mind that he was going to win that game once they got the ball. So I don't know what that counts for. When he got the ball at the end of the game, I said it's a wrap.
Yes, I would be at the top with my hat and my cape, and I would throw the smoke down, and he would come out. Patrick Mahomes, is he? You're right. And it's happened a few times. I've been right a few times. The Brooks Koepka thing last year, and every once in a while this happens. And I felt like last night people kept saying before the game, and we talked about this last week. Well, how are you betting against? Why would you take the Chiefs? The 49ers are better. Why would you take the Chiefs? And we kept saying, both of us, I think, kept saying, I don't know. I just can't go against Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. I just can't. They're going to win. And last night they won, and it just felt like.
And that last drive, you saw the combination of Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. Andy Reid schemes Travis Kelce up, throws him a middle screen, a play that's probably somewhere deep down in their play, but they pull it out at just the right time. Going into the end zone, they run the fake motion, gets the guy wide open. Patrick's throwing the ball. It's like he made the call when you're supposed to make the call, and unfortunately, Shanahan did great, but when it was time for him to make the call, he didn't make it. And that slim margin of error is what makes you great or what makes you very good. And Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes are obviously great.
Fun game last night. 803-404-6100. How you can weigh in. We'll finish up some thoughts on the Super Bowl. Get back into some basketball as well. You're listening to Preston Thorne, Bill Gunner. She's Jen Jensen. It's the early game. You know what? Getting older, not a lot of fun. It's kind of stinks sometimes, to be quite honest. You start experiencing low energy levels. You can have lack of drive and motivation. Maybe you have difficulty sleeping, mood changes. Trust me, I know all about mood changes. And these are issues that you cannot ignore. Sometimes we tend, as men, we tend to push past them. We tend to just fight them. That's not what you should do. You need to contact Dr. Dan Balknight at the Men's Clinic. You can get in touch with him today. Schedule an appointment. Might just be low testosterone. 803-875-MENS. Again, that's 803-875-MENS. You can visit them on the web for more information, mensclinicsc.com. Let me tell you, there is no one-size-fits-all approach. Things need to be tailored specifically to issues that you have if you're experiencing some. So you need to call Dr. Dan Balknight today, 803-875-MENS. And again, go to the website, mensclinicsc.com. Schedule an appointment today. Get that testosterone test. Find out what's going on in your life. Don't push it aside. Call the Men's Clinic. Tell them Bill Gunner sent you. 8:34 on a Preston and I are looking outside a dreary Monday morning. Hopefully you're doing okay. Drive safely. I see Captain David Dare just walked in the door, asked him if it was raining outside. His response was a very yes. It's not nice. Be safe out there this morning as you're getting out and about. 803-404-6100. Richard, he goes with Steph Curry is the most clutch.
Fair, very fair. I mean, just this, I guess that was last Saturday. Should have hit a clutch to hit three-pointer to win the game. I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that. That's fair.
Okay. Well, good weekend. I've not. This weekend is the NBA All-Star game. And after that, I'll start, like, really trying to pay attention to the NBA, getting kind of into it now that we wrap up football and everything. It's getting to be that time for the NHL for me.
On top of so that was part of my sporty sport weekend. We, in the middle, I guess, after the women's game, after our women's game, we turned to the Celtics and Heat.
Yeah.
And watched a little bit of that. And they were playing with, it looked like playoff intensity towards the end of that game. So that was kind of cool to see. So, yeah, it was big-time sporty sport weekend for me.
Going back to the Super Bowl for a second, you've been on the sideline. You've been a part of it. And you've kind of, we joked earlier, Travis Kelce and Andy Reid last night, early on. What was your take as a player, as a former coach as well? We haven't really gotten into that as much, but your take is a guy who's been in those emotional sideline moments.
I've seen things on sidelines both ways. The bullets fly both ways for sure. I'm not privy to that relationship. The way, and this is why Andy Reid is so great, the way he handled it, he kind of just let Travis, he's like, all right, Travis, have your little tantrum. It's fine. Go for it. I thought it was a bit much. It felt like it was a lot. But, again, we've seen coaches get in players' faces and have these conversations. These are all professionals. These are grown men. I wouldn't like this if it was a college player talking to a college coach or a high school player. But we're in the NFL. We're all here for the same reason. Maybe he overstepped the line a little bit, but they handled it, and they seem to be all right with it. So I'm cool with it, I guess. No, let's not do that. That's obviously not. Travis is a very intense guy. Andy Reid understands that. He knows and understands that, and he let him have his space in his moment. He didn't bow down. He didn't. Also, what I would tell Travis is, hey, Travis, if you want to be in the games and blocking situations, maybe throughout the season you should try blocking. This is the reason why they pulled you out. They pulled you out the game.
Right. You know what? That's all it took for me to be like, yeah, all right, Gronk's the best. Fine.
They pulled you out the game, Travis, because this was a situation we needed somebody to block, and you're not that guy. It's just that thing. I mean, what was your thought?
I don't mind. I've only played high school sports. I've never been obviously never in the professional realm, and I've never coached in the college realm either, but I've coached high school, and I've played high school basketball, and I know how me as a coach, when I coached high school basketball, both ninth grade and varsity level, you want to yell at me, that's fine. Make sure it's directed toward the right thing. Like, and in this situation, I understood what he was yelling about. You have to have a special relationship with your and by the way, honestly, what the left tackle couldn't come over and yell at Andy Reid like that, right? Like,
right.
You have to have a relationship, and I think you have to have earned that also respect of your head coach. And I think for all that's been said about Travis Kelce this year, good and bad. And look, I'm one. Count me as one who, if I never had to hear about Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift again, I'd be perfectly. I would love my life. But with all that being said, I had no problem with it. It's a big game. We've talked about it, and I don't know if people fully grasp what that game meant for legacies. Like, that was one of those games because you don't know when you're going to get back. the day and age we've talked about, the day and age of the college game, you better enjoy this team, this basketball team, while you can, because you don't know what it's going to look like next year. Well, it's the same way with free agency, and Andy Reid could ride off into the sunset. Travis Kelce's hourglass is getting thin itself.
Exactly. I want to misquote the statistics, but I think this is the most losses that Kansas City has had for a Super Bowl winning team.
Okay.
Something along those lines, right? So they were ups and downs throughout the year. So yes, there was a moment.
Yeah.
I listen. Like I said, I've seen things on sidelines. It's like, ooh. Listen, and all my friends that have gone to the NFL, they always talk about that transition when they see people talking to coaches, and they're like, "You can say that to a coach? Oh God, I didn't know that."
It is different. What you can say. What you can say to a. Is it different? I should say. I was going to say it is different, but I'm going to ask you. Is it different what you can say as a college player, even let's just say what a college player can say to the college coach versus what a professional player making a lot of money?
Every step, there's incremental differences. The things that you cannot say to a high school coach, you can have more conversations in college, and then those conversations can go even further in the NFL because, again, we're older, we're grown-ups. Travis Kelce's a 30-something-year-old man. Should he be able to control his emotions? Maybe, but we're men having this conversation. When we're in high school, there's obviously a level of. I remember one time, and real quick, I ran one time, and shout out to Coach McCurry. I love this man with all my life. He's my favorite coach I've ever had. But I came off the sideline one time, and we didn't do the play that I thought we did, and I was yelling, and he looked at me and said, "Son, don't yell at me." And I snapped out of the gaze that I was in. I was like, "Oh God, what happened? What came over me?"
Just a very calm.
It was. I need to show you a picture of Compton McCurry. The man wore combat boots to practice.
Oh, okay.
He's one of those type of dudes. He's like, "Son, don't yell at me." And I was like, "Yes, sir." And I quickly adjusted. But we had a relationship where I even felt that was even an option. It's fine, man. They football sidelines are wild places.
Well, and I like this. Carolina Chris weighs in. He's got a good point on this. He says Kelsey's temper tantrum would make a great Snickers commercial.
That's a man with his marketing hat on.
That guy, Carolina Chris, doesn't need the day off.
Oh, I'm sure.
803-404-6100, how you can weigh in. We'll come back. We'll wrap up the morning show. Basketball, Super Bowl, all
Great
kinds
sports
of things.
Weekend.
Yeah, very good. 803-404-6100. It's the early game. Now that 2024 is officially upon us and it's tax season, there's a couple things you might be a little concerned about. Because you know what? In 2024, the IRS is planning to send out those notices of intent to levy, and you or your business could be receiving one. And if you have received one, it's time to call the Ecton Law Firm for a free consultation. 803-771-9800. Again, that's 803-771-9800. Don't let the stress of taxes, levies, or liens hold you back any longer. John Ecton and his team have a plan. They're ready to help you. They're experienced. They know what they're doing, and they are on your side. Give them a phone call today, 803-771-9800. You can visit them on the web, EctonLawFirm.com. That's ECTON lawfirm.com. They can transform your tax worries into a thing of the past. Call the Ecton Law Firm today, 803-771-9800. Tell them Bill Gunner sent you. Final segment of the morning for us. We'll be back tomorrow. We can start getting you ready. Obviously, Valentine's again on Wednesday. You'll have a fun basketball game, 8:30 tip time for the Gamecocks and the Auburn Tigers. And I say fun because, again, you don't want to go get whipped. I mean, you don't want to go lose by 30. But you look at what is transpiring in college basketball with road teams. It makes what South Carolina's doing even more amazing, the way they're able to go on the road and win these games. And, you just look back to, this past Saturday, and you see teams go on the road. Tennessee, who I think is really good. I think Tennessee's a good team. South Carolina's got a victory over them, obviously. Tennessee goes on the road to Texas A&M and gets smashed by 16. Auburn, who I think is playing as good as anybody in the country, goes on the road to Florida, gets smashed by 16. Road teams, it's tough. A lot of credit to Gonzaga, who goes on the road and pops Kentucky by 4. But that's kind of the point now, and South Carolina go on the road. It's just going to be a fun game. A loss is not going to, throw them way back down the bracketology list or cost them some great ranking. Just go on the road, and then you get LSU at home this weekend.
You get to see how they respond to environments. They're going to prepping this team for playing in big games as the season moves forward. So we're going to see how they respond in environments. And I'm pretty confident that they will respond because they have a bunch of senior leaderships. They have a style of play that travels well. It gives them an opportunity to go out there and try and win a game.
Again, to me, it's a no-lose situation. And very rarely have we been in the middle. Let me take that back. Almost never have we been in the middle of February and been like, oh, this team's going to be in the NCAA tournament. And that's a really cool thing where you're going to play, again, what I'm going to assume is probably going to be a top 15 matchup. I'm going to assume Auburn stays within the top 15. It's not, look, you beat Alabama last week. You lost to Florida. There's no shame in that for them. But it will be a really fun game Wednesday night, 8:30, and we'll break that down on Thursday. And then we'll start looking ahead to baseball on Friday.
Big week, and this is the great time because, as you reminded us, we were not having these conversations last year. So it's fun to be able to have conversations about sports that are upcoming, sports that we're still involved in. We got championship aspirations, tournament time. This is great time right now.
Yeah, just a few weeks left. And again, if you're wondering from the weekend, Connecticut rolls over Georgetown. Boy, how long does Ed Cooley make it to Georgetown?
Well, he's already resorting to look at my bank account. So
yeah,
once you make that statement, I don't think you have very long left.
North Carolina they go on the road and knock off Miami over the weekend. For those wondering, the top 15, because it will be interesting later today, number 13 Baylor. No shame in losing on the road at Kansas, but they lost by 3 on the weekend. I just mentioned Tennessee, number 6, goes on the road and loses by 16. Illinois, who was number 10 on the road to Michigan State, they lose by 8. So number
My guy. I'm going to have to go check it out.
Number 10 lost, Illinois, lost to Michigan State. Number 11, Wisconsin, got smoked on the road by Rutgers, 78-56. I just mentioned Auburn, number 12, loses. Number 14, and at 13, by the way, number 13, Baylor, I've already mentioned them. So 10, 11, 12, 13, all go down on Saturday. We'll see later today what that does for South Carolina. Again, I could see them being maybe 12-ish, 11-ish, somewhere in that range. But it should set up a really fun game for them. Also, again, pitchers and catchers for the Braves. Report is that it's something that I say and I'm like, oh, it's good, and then on Thursday I'll be like, I totally forgot that happened.
Yeah, nothing happens. They just report, and so they're there. But it's a cool thing to say, pitchers and catchers.
Yeah, we're getting there. Spring is happening. One other thing I'll bring up in the final minutes, because Friday we dealt almost entirely on the Super Bowl. The Justin Stepp thing We hadn't really gotten into that, and we'll try and do that a little bit more tomorrow. But
there's still a lot of meat on that bone that I think we really need to address because it is an issue.
Yeah, and we'll see what happens. Shane Beamer, I feel like he might have known this was coming. It just feels like behind the scenes with everything that's kind of played out. It wouldn't shock me if we get a name this week that will be hired and introduced. I just interesting to see. 803-404-6100. Again, want to remind you about Mid-State Roofing. It's pouring today. Make sure you do not have any leaks in your roof. And if you do have a leak, let Mid-State Roofing take a peek. You can give them a phone call. They have a 24-hour-a-day, 7-day-a-week call center. That's right, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You will speak with a trained technician. Mid-State Roofing has been taking care of not just the Midlands, but of Florence, Myrtle Beach, or wherever else you might be listening this morning. They've been doing it for nearly 30 years, being the proven leader in the roofing and waterproofing industry. And again, with all this rain right now, you want to give them a call. 803-356-1919. Again, that's 803-356-1919. You can visit them on the web, midstateroofing.com. Again, you'll speak with a technician on call, whether it's midnight tonight, 6 a.m., or midday. You will speak with someone. So give them a phone call, line up a maintenance contract, 803-356-1919. If you've got a leak, let Mid-State Roofing take a peek. So we move past football. You got an overriding thought for football 23-24.
Football 23-24. Awesome. I mean, delivered again. Really, really cool year. Even though we had a mediocre year as far as Gamecocks were concerned, I thought the college football playoffs were fun. Jim Harbaugh is winning championships. It was really cool. A lot of cool storylines. The NFL delivered, as always. Close games, entertainment. I'm very, very happy with football 23-24, for sure.
It was Michigan wins the national championship. Kansas City wins the Super Bowl. And now we'll move on. We'll really start to focus. And a crazy thing occurred last week. And I noticed it on Wednesday, but I didn't say anything about it. I kind of meant to bring it up maybe Thursday, but Thursday we were kind of running around. You know what last Wednesday was? It was National Signing Day.
Yeah. That's really interesting you say that. Yeah.
Technically National Signing Day. Technically, again, we know how we have the early signing. And there was nothing. Yeah. There was nothing.
Yeah.
And it was straight. Once I realized it, and it was late Wednesday afternoon, I was like, man, this is sad.
Shows you how things can change.
Yeah.
Things change rapidly. But you're right. There was nothing there.
That was crazy. Last Wednesday was National Signing Day, and we didn't speak a word about it. And I don't even know if anybody signed. Now, I know they didn't sign with South Carolina. I don't know if anybody signed anyway. It's been fun. We'll do it again tomorrow.
Big day tomorrow, Bill. You know what tomorrow is?
No. Jen?
Mardi Gras.
Tomorrow?
Yes, sir.
Oh. All right, I'll see y'all Wednesday. Yeah, Mardi Gras. No, I did not know that, and that probably means that the show tomorrow will be more chaotic than ever. But you know what? We'll be good. I know that we'll have heating and air here in the studio because AAA Heating and Air, well, they've taken care of us. They've taken care of me. They'll take care of you. Right now, you can get 12 months, no interest, no payments when you call AAA Heating and Air and purchase a brand new heating and air unit. 803-677-1500. Again, that's 803-677-1500. You can beat the seasons with AAA Heating and Air in the South Carolina Midlands. If you need a system upgrade, there's no better time than to call than right now. You can get a free replacement estimate today. If you're worried about cost, don't be. With guaranteed financing options, comfort is always within your budget, especially, again, with that 12 months of no payments or interest in 2024. Call AAA Heating and Air today, 803-677-1500. Make sure when you call them, you tell them you heard it here on 107.5 The Game with Bill Gunner.